Heyo! Welcome to Benchwarmers, our Woso podcast, episode 11. The WSL, the Women's Super League. And remind me, what was the first game of this week? Oh, it was the real London derby, because, I mean, we'll get to the North London derby eventually. That's the North London exhibition, as we call it. But Arsenal v Chelsea, 1-1. How long are we going to be here for when we talk about this game? Probably
I want
an hour,
to be short and sweet. I want to be short and sweet.
Okay.
I want to knock this out.
Okay,
Straight away team selection. Team selection. Again, I call out all the Kim Little haters. Come at me. Because Kim Little is so integral to the system. It's insane. I love Victoria Pullover. I've been a Pullover lover since the start. But I also recognize that in the first 20 minutes, it was the fact that our midfield had no six. Yeah. We were getting completely overrun and no box to box really. Right, we had Mariona, but she was completely outrun. And I think the starting lineup reflected those first 20 minutes so accurately. You have players there, technically they're great, right? They fit great in Renee's system, but when faced against, and we saw this with Bayern, when faced against a level of opposition who is willing to adapt, we can't match that adaptation. And I mean, Katie is back in the starting 11 as well. I know you had questions about her because you wanted Taylor Hines.
I'm not necessarily Taylor Hines, but I just think the idea that her tenure in the team ultimately is unquestionable. It's kind of that Ella Toon thing. If Mark Skinner was managing Arsenal, one of these games, like McCabe just does come off, and that's through a level of form and that's through a level of confidence. But I think her best game this year was against Bayern in that first half. Her best pockets of moments was that first half against Bayern, attacking wise, not necessarily defending, but her ability to create space ahead of her was far better in that Bayern game than I've seen this year. But in this game, I mean, I think I stand by what I say.
No, I disagree.
There was good moments, but we're going to talk about McCabe properly with that tackle. She shouldn't have been on the pitch. No.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
You don't think that was a red?
Any opportunity to take out Lucy Bronze should be taken. We should, inshallah, give all of my funds, everything.
Reggie, it was studs up. It was so high. It was so late. It was even late for McCabe. You know how many times
she looked at that leg and she heard all that propaganda shit from the Euros. Oh, I played with a broken leg. Katie McCabe's like, I'll give you a freaking leg.
She went for Lucy Bronze's broken leg. To be fair, like, jokes, funny, but also like low-key red. Like, the thing is that I actually think that tackle was worse than the Pullover tackle.
Really?
Worse. Because the Pullover tackle is completely different.
It's in the game. It happens.
Yeah, but Pullover has the ball. Pullover gets shirt tugged from the ball. So that free kick is there, but it's not there. It's a derby,
50-50.
guys. Anyone who thinks that Pullover was fouled before this tackle, you've never watched a derby before. It's different rules.
But that's what I mean about the Katie McCabe thing. It's a derby.
But the difference is that Katie McCabe had intention. Intention doesn't matter. Obviously, the laws of the game don't include intention. But red card is reckless and excessive force. I've never seen a definitive reckless and excessive force than what Katie McCabe did in that moment. Whereas Pullover was reckless. No. Pullover was reckless, but it wasn't excessive. She was trying to get the ball. She missed the ball and got her and could have snapped Kira Walsh's leg in half.
Oh, please.
Low key, do us a favor.
Yeah.
I love we both were like, you know what, like, fuck her a little bit.
Same as Lucy Bronze.
But I think Lucy Bronze tackle, I understand Chelsea fans online who think that there should be 9 red and white players on the ground. I mean, low key salt, but I would have personally, if I was refereeing, and I know I'm not a ref anymore, I would have definitely given the McCabe one 100% straight red. But the Pullover one, in context of what was happening in that game, I think I understand why you think it's a red, and on another day a
I don't
different
think
referee
anything.
gives a red,
I
but I
never
think
said it
it's
was
a
a
yellow.
red. I don't think it's a red. I think all the players should have stayed on the pitch. I think this is
So
this is
so you think all the players should have stayed on the pitch? That means you thought it wasn't a red.
no, it's not a red. It's not a red. None of them
No,
are reds.
neither of them. Neither of them.
Neither of them are reds.
Yeah.
But
So
this is
you do have an opinion then.
this is right, Ben. This is because your Manchester derby has only become interesting in the past 2 seasons, right?
Oh, fuck off.
I'm sorry. The level of pent up anger that Katie McCabe must have against Chelsea, right? B,
Yeah.
her own level of game, which has been poor this season.
And Lucy Bronze was wearing a poppy as well. That
No,
probably doesn't help. But yeah, no,
No, but
look.
I think, yeah, I think personally she needed that. Basically, she needed a yellow card. It's like
Oh no, I
it's like drugs
understand.
to
For
her
all
system.
the bettors out there who bet on Katie McCabe to get a yellow, they're guaranteed one in the multi box. But my God, there were. I mean, again, if we're going to talk about the controversies for Arsenal, ultimately we have to talk about the controversies for Chelsea, which is the amount of times that offside was called, the amount of times was handballed was called. So ultimately, the Stino one was wrong. Yes, she did not touch that ball. Did that ball go out for a corner? I think Chelsea fans are fucking blind, by the way. That ball bounces off Lucy Bronze. It goes forward, bronze, out. It's so obvious. I don't know how you guys don't see it, but you know what? I'd love to live in your world. It'd be so fun to just be like, wow, we're 6 in a row and everything should go our way. But my God, that was ridiculous. And in the corner, Stina deserved a goal. Everyone thought it was a goal. Even the comms thought it was a goal for like 7 minutes. They kept going as if it was 1-1. The score said 1-0. It was taken from Hannah Hampton took it. There was no kickoff. What are you watching, guys? Like, it was crazy.
I'm not just saying this for the clip. I genuinely believe this.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal as a whole not only deserve to win that game, but deserve the points for that game. I don't care. I think
when you say like all three, you deserve all three. Yeah.
we deserve all 3 points, but like I think that the FA should like give us reparations. Like, like I'm being serious. Like this has caused such emotional damage.
Oh no,
can't sleep
I
anymore.
do agree with the emotional element. I don't
can't-
think you should get 3 points.
You have
but
a little like lines thing there. That's like
Yeah.
PTSD for me. I'm like looking at that. That's PTSD. I'm genuinely scared because not only have I had to deal with years and years of Chelsea shit, like just garbage from them. We win the Champions League. We finally get something over them that isn't
Yeah.
a Conti Cup, the Holy Conti Cup.
Yeah.
And they come back at us with this absolutely crappy game, which, by the way, the comms were like, this is the best game. Oh my God, it's fantastic. I'm glad that you're a neutral fan because us here, the fans, are having heart palpitations that are causing, intense stress. This game, to me, was one of the greatest representations of just how flawed this league is, just how fundamentally flawed we are as a league to think that these referees shouldn't be assisted by VAR. And I know you're going to have takes, but let me finish this because I know you're going to have takes. Because the video assistant being the key word, referee, is not there the same way that ChatGPT and AI is going to take people's jobs. It's
Hey, don't make Laura Harvey's listening. Don't worry.
It's there to help because these are the decisions that matter. These are the decisions that make or break title challenges. But not only that, make or break the perception of a league. The WSL is going through a PR crisis right now. People outside of the WSL fandom are looking at the WSL and going, Farmers League, unserious league, piggy bank league, right? These are the things that are being said about the WSL. They have this game now, the game that will make or break the seasons. Arguably, I know it's early, but these games are the ones that matter. And that's the performance that the referees put up that the federation now has to look back on when they do their mid-season or post-season review of referees and go, shit, like this is the game that happened. It's deplorable for me.
Yeah, I would. There was a time where I did agree with you, and VAR will eventually get to a level and a protocol level where I do agree with it. Ultimately, the reality is that when it comes to football, I'm slightly pragmatic, and I've seen VAR in other sports actually, ultimately VAR in other sports, whether it be score review or like decision, like referrals in any other sport. And then I've seen VAR in the men's game. I've seen it in World Cups. I've seen it in international tournaments like the Euros and anything else. And ultimately, the decisions that are objective, sure. Goal line tech, great. Semi-automated offside, fine. Anyone who says that Russo was offside or Marnham was offside, you have no fucking idea, because there are no lines drawn. Until the lines are drawn by semi-automated offsides, you cannot tell me whether they're offside or not, because I don't trust your eyes. And you can make ideas up with your eyes and say that, I mean, a lot of the consensus is that Russo was onside and that Marnham was offside. I don't agree with either of them. I just think we don't know, and it doesn't matter because the ref called them, and I actually thought that they actually got it relatively right. I didn't think it was that bad in terms of that. But again,
easy for you to say.
Offside, semi-automated offside is objective. Anything that is not clear and obvious, the game's gone. The game is seriously gone. I hate VAR. It slows the game down. It makes us, until the ideas and the protocols are instantaneous, the slowing down of the game is it's actually painful. The idea that Stina would score that goal and you can't celebrate, you have to wait 7 minutes to celebrate. Ultimately, what they got wrong, which they thought was a handball, it wasn't. Yeah, and they wouldn't. I've seen so many times. I've seen VAR fail at the men's level so many times.
But that's the thing, Ben. You're looking, first of all, right, two things. You're looking at it from the men's perspective, where you looked at the VAR from its inception to now. So you have basically prolonged.
Yeah, I have 5 years of experience watching VAR, knowing like I think Arsenal fans who watch both the men's and the women's game, who suffer at the hands of VAR probably twice, 3 times a year, would know, you know what, deep down, even if VAR was in this game, we'd probably still get shafted. Like that's what happens. VAR just slows the game, it disappoints, and it makes referees, it dehumanizes the value of referees, in my opinion.
Okay, sure. But as I said, you have had the inception to now, you've had the prolonged PTSD of VAR. The second thing is the men's game has 10 times the speed, 10 times the effect. So the cause and effect, the time between that is far faster than it is with the women. Like, it is incredibly obvious that Stina chests the ball down.
Oh, it's very obvious.
So that would be very instantaneous. I think a great example of VAR and what your problem is with Liga FR, right? So they've introduced VAR, and it's very like it's basically like the first VAR that we would have gotten like 10
every single goal that the Barca score, they go straight to the screen.
Yes, it is very slow. But to me, I would rather accuracy over time, over whatever. If I have to sit like 90 minutes, right? You're spending 2 hours every day watching a game. I would spend 3 hours watching a game of football, and every result and everything is correct, because that's what we love. We love the fact that we're watching football and it's the best of the best. So if we want the best of the best of the players, then I expect the best of the best of the referees.
But the best of the best players get things wrong. They do get things wrong.
That's okay.
I mean, but that's my point. That's my point, is when you have the top of the top, like Renee and Sonia and all these people coming out saying we have to have VAR, we have to be supported by this. How about Stina has to score this chance? And how about she just has to score?
Yes,
sometimes we get things wrong. And even when we get VAR into the WSL, it will happen. It will get things wrong. And there'll be complaints then. And then there'll be complaints that the game is slower. And there'll be complaints that the same traits and symptoms will happen in the women's game that are happening in the men's. We're just a few years behind. But I feel like in that game, I think the referees couldn't control the gravity, the intensity of the game. The offsides, to me, they weren't the worst part of the refereeing. The refereeing, basically, someone should have been sent off. I'm sorry, someone should have been sent off. It's a derby. That's what happens. Someone gets sent off because someone goes overboard. And the reality was that that handball went in, and I get that maybe that was contextual, that Stina had the handball, and then 2 seconds later, Katie McCabe is two-footing Lucy Bronze because they're all confused at what's happened, and they all got told that this linesman called a handball from that angle, which is a bit insane. But shout out to Renee keeping her own box in check, so no managers got sent off. And her handshake with the referees was iconic. But
I think we
just an interesting game, really.
Yeah,
just so exciting.
We can't blame the referees for the performance that Arsenal had in the first 20 minutes.
Oh, and Chelsea, you got battered.
Yeah, and Chelsea equally cannot blame the last 20.
They were on the ropes.
They didn't players taken off.
Yeah, 100%. And you were that's right. You started the game slow. They probably should have had 2 or 3, and then you came out firing basically in a way that it was the antithesis to the Bayern game. Really, you just didn't put it on the sheet, and there was many a chance to put it on the sheet. And the reality was that I thought she was going to do it. I thought she had it. It was an amazing moment. It's really sad. Like, it is sad because, like, that moment was for her. And this is the thing with automated offsides. If that goal was ruled out, if that goal wasn't ruled out, if that was considered onside and VAR ruled it out, again, I'm a firm believer of the Arsene Wenger offside rule. I love the Arsene Wenger rule. Daylight's amazing. Let's have more goals in a sport that the number one complaint worldwide is that they don't score enough goals, right? Firstly, watch Barca. But the reality is that run is perfect. I'm sorry, the run is perfect. The movement is perfect. Everything about Leslie's build up to that moment is perfect. Why are we chalking out goals that are so like that is not the advantage that we're talking about with offside. Offside was originally invented to stop goal hanging, not people's left toenail being offside.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree that the rules have to change when it comes to offside, but not the implementation of VAR. VAR is simply doing the job as prescribed by the laws. Yeah. So VAR is
that's fair. I agree with that.
I genuinely would have rather that goal not stand because the offside, we all see that it's offside. That's to me, that's what we get it in the Champions League with the men previously, and now it's been introduced to the Premier League.
Semi-automated.
Yeah, semi-automated offside to me, I feel justified knowing, okay, that wasn't a goal because it was offside and we're following the laws. It's just simple as that.
Yeah, and I understand, but then also you see people online saying we just need better refs, whatever.
And definitely definitely.
But again, that's not tangible. What do you mean we're going to get better refs? I'm Man City. We're going to get better players. You don't just get better players.
Yes, you pay for them. That's the whole thing. You pay for them.
But you have to build. You have to build them. You have to educate them.
And how do you build them? How do you build them?
You have to fund them.
Money.
You have to fund them.
And they're not going to put money in. They're not going to put money in. That's obvious.
I understand that 100%, but to just say we need better refs,
they're not there.
That's not how it works. Refs don't just get better. We need to facilitate. If you're a 15-year-old budding football player, or you've stopped playing and you want a ref, how incentivized are you to go to the top level when the best games that you have are not thanked at all? It's a thankless job. The best games of referees are the games where you don't remember that the referee's in it, and all you're known for is screwing up, immense failure. If you're a known ref. Yeah, no, I understand, but we don't facilitate support as a fan base. We need to like refs. We just do. That's how you facilitate support for an essential part of the game. It's like saying we need more, like the same way we need more money in the women's game. We need more women's referees. We need more women's structures so that female structures so that we have referees in place that are getting educated, getting better, learning on the job to the level we need. And you can buy all the refs in the world. It won't change the fact that from the WSL to the EPL to the Champions League to the World Cup final, there will be ref incidents, and every time there's a singular ref incident, you have some numpty online who goes, "We just need better refs. We just need better refs," and it means nothing. I'm sorry, it means nothing to me. That sentence doesn't actually facilitate an action plan for how you want refereeing to be done. How you need more money for referees. You need more opportunity for referees. We need to not cancel or harass referees when they get things wrong. We nurture. When Stina misses a chance, she shouldn't be getting harassment from Arsenal fans saying, "Oh my God, you miss 5 million chances." That's not how it works. We nurture, we culture, we fall in love. We fall in love with these players because they're imperfect. That's the point. And I think referees, I mean, again, it's personal because I was a referee, and I understand the immense pressure they're under. I remember being subjected to that when I was a referee and doing NPL for the first time. No matter what decision you make, you are wrong. One side thinks you're wrong. That's how tribalism works. But the reality is that at the end of the day, we're only going to facilitate better spaces for referees if we actually want more money for them and we incentivize the role. Yeah, we don't say they're all bad. We don't say they all need to just level up experience points. We need to build tangible ways in which we can make the lives of referees easier. And for some refs, it's without VAR. That's what I've heard. A lot of refs do not like VAR. A lot of refs want more power, which a lot of fans hate because, I mean, I hate it when Daphne Van Domselaar holds the ball in her hands for 55 million seconds. And the game, you're talking about the game speed being slow. That's how you speed it up. You give the power to the referee to incentivize the ball in play. But
I think just quick, I think this might be because I'm AFAB and I know the experience of being a woman in an environment that is very high pressure. Personally, I think you see a difference between, in the women's game, the female referees being able to control the game and the male referees being able to control the game. And I'll give you a quick example. The NWSL had a male referee in the quarterfinal with Orlando. That male referee had so much power in that game. There's the ref cam, which is now infamous. The ref cam had him being surrounded by all these players, Marta going crazy at him, right? And he's able to control the game. The current referee, and we have Emily Heaslip next week, right?
Yeah.
I believe she is a referee amongst a cohort of female referees that and this is based purely off of societal things and all that kind of stuff. It's really just difficult for them to control the game, the crowd, all that kind of stuff. And this isn't me going, it's just because she's a woman.
No, 100% no.
Women are not put in those high intense environments often enough.
Yeah, and it comes with experience. It comes with normalizing a space that is predominantly male. Referees are predominantly male, and it's an easy scapegoat for people to be like, oh, well, she can't handle the space because she's a woman. But again, exposure is what builds experience. She will learn from this game. She will learn so much from this game. We only learn from mistakes and failures, and the reality is that, albeit the decisions going either way controversially, both teams could have done more to get over the line. And at the bottom line, Sonia and Renee complaining about VAR, both of them said that at the end of the day, that the result does not, the controversies are not an indicator of the result. And that's the crux of it, is that we can talk and talk and talk about referee quality, but it's important to look at how these two titans in England came together, put an amazing show of entertainment for us in 90 minutes and bottled it for each other, and it was fantastic.
It's a great fiction. There's always controversy. I will forever miss the days of Emma Hayes and Giannis, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, nothing better than the two blondie ghosts going at each other for days. While this game was going on, United dropped their win streak to Aston Villa and Arroyo, who I want to give Manager of the Week, by the way. Just, my God. This game was not...
Now she's got a Man of the Week.
Definitely. This is not a smash and grab, by the way. This is not a 1-0 smash and grab. This was a tactical masterclass from Arroyo. And I mean, we talked about it last week, the Woso goal, the Woso volley goal, but Taylor through the traffic. It was like a ball on a mission, the way it ended up in the goals from that Wilms backwards header. But
I
that
love
goal,
Vilms. Oh my God,
yeah,
I love her.
Lynn Vilms, mate, hero of yonder, hero of Villa today. Yeah, crazy. The Midlands master. But ultimately, that goal was enough because
Yeah.
Villa kind of deserved this with Mullet and Hansen getting on the back of some tough chances, but United's chances just weren't good enough. They really
No.
didn't create enough at all. The best chance that they had was that Tooney chance, 5 yards out, and Patton, the ex-Arsenal GOAT, blocks it on the line. Again, nothing special for United from that. 29 shots at goal across both teams, but only 2 XG was accrued for the whole game.
I think United have really banked on when they've gone down that the teams that they're playing against are not great in the final parts of the game.
The
So
mentality
yeah,
monster minutes.
basically, like you can bring on players that the opposition, so like London City, Leicester, whoever, right? They just don't have, right? So if they go down early, Manchester United have the players to bring on to make a change. It's these game against Villa, which I think Villa as a season as a whole have been completely underrated. You know, they came up against a Chelsea team and played very well. It was simply the last, again, 10 minutes that Chelsea just overran them, right? They got a draw against Arsenal in annoying circumstances for me, but in all intensive purposes deserved the draw if I was put my neutral hat on. And then this
Probably,
game,
yeah.
and then this game to me has been Villa's best performance of the season. I think they showed United that they are not to be underestimated, that they can do what United has been doing all season, which is bank up when they get one goal up and just close off any opportunity for United to get back in the game.
And break from that. Again, that 3 at the back allows them to expand and break. And I think it just works better for Hansen and Mullet, 2 players who just box crash, run straight to the center of the park. No one is stopping them in their path when they run through like that. And that expansive ball is beautiful. They are great in midfield. I always forget her name. Lucia Kendall, is it?
Yeah,
The
Kendall.
English international. She's definitely coming into her own after that
She's
England performance.
impressive, yeah.
She's definitely got a bright future ahead of her. But that's all I really have for that game because, I mean, shout out to Villa doing the entirety of the Woso fan base a favour.
So what does this game now mean for the crosstown rivals, Ben?
Leggy, is it a bit cold right now? Are you cold at all?
Bit chilly, yeah.
It's
Bit chilly.
do you know why? I think you just need to get your coat on, get moving. There's no fucking way we're losing. So come on. City won at Goodison Park. Hey, I was so gassed. I can't believe it. The bogey team,
Bogey
the
team.
stress.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We have to talk about the best midfielder I've ever seen in my life, Claire Wheeler. Holy schlamoli. That was the scariest moment of my life in the 20th minute when she just ran through our midfield like sliced through it like a piece of bread.
You know me, I don't compliment Tilly's players that much, but
Claire Wheeler v City.
Oh my God, she's a complete monster.
Yeah,
it's actually concerning. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus.
But it didn't matter. Not this game. Tough conditions in the wet weather. Oh my God. The ball, as your friend Ty from Arsenal Fan TV would say, the ball was slipping and sliding. We must not forget it's been raining.
It's been raining.
Yeah, it's raining for both teams. But that rain was, I mean, it must have been euphoric for us because we finally beat Everton 2-1 at Goodison Park. And we have to talk about this girl. You all doubted her. The Arsenal fans doubted her.
I didn't doubt her. I didn't say a damn thing about her.
Okay, you doubted Yeglert, and he was right. He plays. There's a reason we changed the number, and it's so she can make those.
This.
Yeah, she can make the late runs, and Iman Bene knows that and plays an absolute peach to her. Which was, I mean, it was a beautiful ball. I mean, that's exactly what I want from a 19-year-old Swiss winger who's our second option on that side, just doing the business. And yeah, look, by the way, can we just say that the big stat this week is that we've played what are we at? Round 9 of the WSL. Yeah. And Vivian Miedema has created the most big chances of any player in the WSL. Yeah.
Surprise,
and anyone out there who doesn't know that, now you know Viv in the 10 still doing the business, by the way.
I never doubted Viv, right?
No, I'm not saying you doubted. I'm not saying you doubted her.
I doubted the system, sure,
yes.
Yeah. But I think, and this is not even a hot take. I mean, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you know this. Wet weather suits Viv.
Oh,
Weather suits Viv. The players get slower, the ball gets slower, she has more control. I also think naturally Everton were far more concerned with Bunny,
oh,
obviously, than
yeah.
they were with Viv. So she was able to move the ball up. Underrated again, Laura Brinkilda-Brown. Underrated. I mean,
I'm yeah, we'll get to LBB. Don't worry. She's had
she
an
was
amazing year. Player of
amazing.
the month in that September period. But ultimately, this was great practice to switch those wings a lot. The Iman and Fujino just switching and switching
Have you
as
noticed
we needed.
Carolyn's out? Have you
Yeah,
noticed?
I forgot she existed, to be honest. She can still keep partying in Brazil with Vinny and all the other classic Brazilian players. I forgot who it was, R9. I think she met Ronaldo Phenomena, but whoever gets that reference, shout out. But can we talk about how wide we were in that game?
Yeah,
We were
so
playing
wide.
like yeah, we were
Massive.
playing like a 4-4-2 at points, and without the ball, and then when Viv pushed up, but Bene and Fuji were hugging those lines, and I get it. So it's so Uabi and Casper I can make those inverted late runs, and it was working for bits, but they took advantage of how wide
Well,
we
it's
were.
Goodison Park doesn't help that as well. It's a massive pitch. And
Huge
so
field.
for me, when I was watching, the gaps between each line were massive. And I just thought
Yeah,
Everton were able to exploit that. They got on the end of the loose balls. They were
yeah.
able to make through balls, which if they had gotten onto those through balls more accurately and more precisely, I think they could have caused you more trouble. But I think what you did so well was when you set up when the ball was being possessed by Everton. So when Everton had the ball and actually had to set up and start maneuvering players in and out of position, that's when I think actually you did well. When it was loose and everywhere, you were a bit
Yeah,
chaotic. Yeah.
the chaos suited them because that is Sorensen's game
Mm.
style, and he likes the ball in motion. He doesn't
Yeah.
like sitting and thinking in the
Mm.
game. He likes instinct, and that their goal was an encapsulation of that instinct. I mean, Payne finally didn't slip over on that side. I actually felt bad for her because she was in these three good positions and slipped over twice. And then the third time it makes you question if she kept her feet for the other two. But whipped that ball in, and Gago, who's on a serious purple patch at
Mm.
the moment, plays that little back heel in. I think Kanak could have done better on Payne. I mean, it was her first start this year, but she was very slow to react to Payne's through ball, and the turn was really poor. But again, coming back from injury, I understand it. And ultimately, in the broad scheme of things, is a teachable moment, is a learnable moment as a player who's left footed, but turned with her right. It just didn't look right. But Jade Rose and Kanak together, another combination, as my friend Yeglerts would say. But again, no AG back just yet. But
Mm.
that's
But she signed that
another,
contract
yeah,
extension.
2027, baby, and we'll take that. I didn't think she was going anywhere. She's
No, I
so
don't think so.
city pilled, it's
Well,
crazy.
you never
But
know. She'll do another move to a rival, you know. You never
yeah,
know.
oh my Christ! If she moved back to United, imagine they'll do a Greenwood back, get Stormzy out for it. But finally, Bunny Shaw after chance and
Mm.
chance and chance. I mean, Viv set her up twice in that first half to no avail. Especially that headed one that should have gone in. I don't know how she didn't keep that down, but she finally gets her header number 26. That goes in. Great whip across the box. And she's just, I mean, everyone knows she's just going to score every game. And that was enough because Viv's chance in the first minute, she probably should have scored. But again, she got her goal eventually. And then
Very
the
typical
only, the
Viv
only
goal.
big moment I can remember is Ruby Mace's bomb long shot from like really,
Mm.
really deep in that late in the game. But again, another player we haven't talked about yet, Yamaruma, as I'm calling her now, Yamashita. Oh my days.
Yeah,
She
what a
was
performance.
amazing in that game.
She
The
always has one of
save,
these, always one of these
yeah,
games that someone.
that corner save was amazing, and it's a
Mm.
good reminder to teams that again, we don't keep many clean sheets, and we haven't this year at all. I don't think we have many. I think we maybe have one, but I can't
One.
get it off the top of my head. But it's a good reminder to teams that even if you beat our defense, we've got a last line, and she's been very consistent this year. I think she's definitely cemented the fact that we're a top four club. we should have a top 4 in relatively in every position. And now you can kind of say she's on that level with Ndosia and Sabrina D'Angelo. Like, you could say she's better than her. I'm not ready to say that yet. Like 100. I think Ndosia is an amazing goalkeeper. I think Ndosia should be at a bigger club than Brighton, no offense, but like, she is arguably a top 5 keeper in the world, Ndosia, on her day. You don't have that record internationally without it.
I genuinely think you have some of the best Japanese players, and to say that in a league where there are just a lot of Japanese players now is pretty impressive. And I think, I mean, I've always rated Yamashita. I think maybe that's also because I'm anti Kiara Keating. So to me, any player in mirroring that is always going to be, for me, a better goalkeeper. But I think it showed big game moments. I mean, you have to remember, this is 2-1 for most of the game. And there are other teams that would have dropped those points. So
100%. And it's teams like us that would drop that because our first half attack, our offensive chances were far better, and then our defending second half was much better, and we just haven't put them together properly. Hempo got her first minutes back. I was
happy she looked
We're so
back,
ready. Yeah, she does. She's looking better, looking good. I don't know. She's not 100% yet, but we will know when she's 100% and she's whipping that ball, that late cross on the line. Like, you can just see it. You see that ball come, that like the swinging away ball to Bunny, and Bunny's waiting for it as well. And then Sid Lohman, Grace coming on. These are players that are going to be important if we keep going, if we keep doing what we're doing. That win, after you guys drew, we had to win this game. It was a bogey. It was a big moment, and we did it. We are now top of the league, and it is a feeling that I haven't had in a long time, and it is exciting.
Don't get used to it.
It's stressful. I hate being top of the league this early.
What happened the last time you were top of the league, Ben?
Let's not talk about it. And Kiara Keating's a great goalkeeper who had a great season, and nothing else happened that season. But again, if we're going to talk about that Kiara Keating Yamaruma thing, the ceiling for Kiara Keating hits the roof, but again, the floor is there. We've seen the floor, and that's the reality, is that she is a purple patch goalie and she will be used as necessary. But Yamashita is the consistent one. She is the important cog. It's the Zinzi DVD. When you made the DVD signing, you knew it was the right decision, and it was, and this is like, Yama was kind of questioned, and now it's not a question anymore.
I think, just quickly on that Hempo point, I think what will make or break your season isn't actually necessarily the connection between her and Bunny, because that's established. We know the assists are going to come. No, I actually think it's between her and Viv. I actually think, so what made Arsenal the team that they were was the assists from Beth to Viv, right? That's obvious. I think Hempo needs to replicate that with Viv. And I understand that they're in 2 different positions now. Viv has obviously dropped back from when we saw her in the 9 with Arsenal and Beth.
Maybe it might compliment.
I think, though, what you're going to get back from Hempo coming back is basically you're going to have established connections, but you're also going to have a player that is suited to playing the types of balls that Viv enjoys getting on the back of. So I think you're only going to get stronger. I mean, we haven't even talked about Mary Fowler potentially coming back after
don't worry, break, the Mary Fowler content will be immensely saturated.
I'm scared.
I'm going to set up 4 Mary Fowler kits. 1, 2, 3, 4, all here. We are waiting. Don't worry. I'm so excited to have.
I'm simultaneously scared that you might win something this season, and I'm going to have to eat soap. But also, I'm scared that if you don't win anything, you get so depressed that I'll have to carry this pod.
No. The depression runs the pod. You know, like the moments we're going to get. This is what we cherish, and this weekend is what we're going to cherish so much. And there's not much for me to say about this derby day incoming, other than the fact that it is probably the biggest derby we're going to have for a while.
The most level, the most even.
It's the most even, but it's the most stakes. Last year's derby, the one where we had to win to stay in the UCL. I understand that was a big derby, but I feel like we went into that game knowing we'd lost already. I feel like with Cushing, even with Gaz, there was a lack of identity in the sense of that Skinner ran the game. Skinner basically said all bets are off, all rules are off. Defending doesn't exist. We're going to see who scores the most. And Jeglerts isn't that. Jeglerts is not that.
I think he's more methodical, much more methodical.
I know that the scoreline is unflattering to that ideology when we played against you, and a 3-2 is not really a game in control. But the reality was that we never felt like we were losing that game. That's the difference. It's the feeling that Jeglerts has brought and the identity. And you can see Viv is flourishing in that. And again, we talked about Blinkhill-Brown, but I wanted to mention it here in my Derby Day preview. I made a little tune. I had to make a tune.
Of course, it's a tune every week, Ben.
Yeah, it's a tune every week, but I mean, sometimes it's different. But I've done this tune. I don't know if you can see. I mean, you can see what it says, but do you know what song it is?
No, because you do this all the time, and I know like 3
but you
songs.
should know this song. This is poor from you, but you'll know it when I start singing it. But you ready? It's the Derby Day preview, as I'm going to call it, from the start. That's what I'm going to call it. So it's a 1, a 2, a 1, 2. Don't you notice how City's midfield problem solved by Blinkhill-Brown? Gilrod leaving, awkward silence. Don't you dare make me watch 20. Do your thing, Jill, cause LBB don't drop less than an 8, cause our mid's insane. Sydney, Laura, Grace and Viv are doing great. She's so perfect, Hasagawa. How I wish I'll wake up one day. Mary's back, our depth is strong, and we hold till the end of May. Now Derby Day is coming, sky blue blood is pumping, time to win and light the spark. Because when I hear that blue moon, I know you feel it too, as we smash Tooney and Jess Park.
That was
Get
incredible.
fucking fucked.
That was so good.
I wanted to keep going, but that is how I'm feeling right now. I'm on a Leve high. I'm on a City high. Jeglerts, have my children. I don't care if they're Swedish. Who cares? Just like run the game. It was, I mean, it's a good feeling. We haven't been top of the league for a while. I haven't been this confident going into a derby in 2 seasons now. And I mean, we got to do it. We got to do it. This is it. This is to make Manchester, like, I don't care if you're in Europe, where Manchester will be sky blue. The gay village will light up in Bunny Shaw, and that's I'm calling 2-1. I think we win 2-1.
Okay, I'm calling 2-all.
You said 2-all. Yeah, you Desmond 2-2 over here. Around the grounds, except when Freya Godrey saves LCL. What the hell just happened?
Freya Godrey?
Yeah, was it Freya Godrey?
Freya Godrey.
Freya Godrey. Sorry, my brain's off. Jesus, I'm on the singing high. That's why. Freya Godrey, running the show. I wrote Freya. She's the Newcastle player, Freya Godrey, isn't she? But yes, a Spurs side going down 4-2 to Freya Godrey and LCL. Also, Aslani as well. I have to mention Aslani, who is
she won something. No, she won like a she got an award from Sweden. It's fantastic. Yeah,
I thought it was a Kang award or something.
No, Kangslani's been inaugurated in I think a Swedish.
You know what? Fair enough. Yeah. She is unbelievable. She's it's her and Jana, but she is just week in, week out. She's any focal point of an attacking chance that doesn't involve Aslani is probably not a good attacking chance for LCL. But I mean, that third goal by Freya Godrey, by the way, she might earn an England call up for that. That felt really like England call up vibes when she got that goal.
So Freya Godrey for me is a really interesting player. So I've seen her through the academy years, but I've also watched her for the under-21s. And one of the things that I've noticed about Freya Godrey is that she uses her height to an advantage in the lower leagues. Or in the under-21s. So she's playing far more diminutive, far smaller players who haven't really, peaked in terms of their physical attributions, but she used that physical capacity so well against the Spurs backline. And I mean,
Killed Nilden. Nilden was absolutely on strings.
I'm not going to
Crazy.
say, I'm not going to say that this is because she played Spurs, but as an academy player, to get your first goal
This feels
against
pilled.
Spurs, against Spurs, I mean, thank you. I mean, like this is a pure instinct, basically.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you come up against teams you have bad blood with. I mean, again, still year of the dead ball. Sumanen's free kick. I actually thought they had where we're going to win after the free kick that Sumanen scored, but they were so poor defensively. Like, I don't know what happened to Koga and Jess Naz wasn't covering the right way.
Just as hasn't
Nilden,
been covering
I mean,
anything. It was
yeah,
just,
but Nilden's own goal, it was a really tough game for their backline, and it just shows that LCL are picking up points. They're sixth. They have more points than any other promoted side of the last five. I think last three sides specifically, but I think the last five they didn't have this many points to
at
this
this
point.
stage of the year.
And it shows that ultimately football is a monetary sport, and 94% of the correlation between the successful teams are the teams that spend more money. But again, how far can that get you is the question, and the
Yeah.
long-term identity of the project is what's in question as well.
I also just think that the WSL has objectively been poor this year. I think it's no question to say that, you know, the teams that we're usually seeing at the top of the ladder, the Arsenals, we've been poor, right? And then this has created the opportunity for someone like LCL to get a bit of momentum. I mean, I'm a massive believer in momentum theory, and I think that basically what LCL are able to grab hold of is the tangible evidence that if they just go on multiple like waves of attack, then they will be able to inevitably get goals from that. And I think what has held them back previously, yes, it's the connections. Yes, they're slow after 60 because they're all old. But I also think it's about mentality. I think right now they have a belief that they can actually, because they've been getting that momentum, be able to pick up more points and challenge for, if we like to call them in Europa spots, but just basically being in the top five.
Yeah, I think that's their definitive goal is top five. I hope that Spurs United hold that five,
It's
because
so ill to say.
I mean, it is yuck to say, but the reality is
No,
that
hope in Villa. Hope in Villa.
I mean, their experience is clear. Whether that experience holds for the entirety of the league, but like their experience is useful, and they will utilize that to an extent within their games against bottom pack sides. But now they're using it against Spurs, who I was considering a side that was contending for Europa. I mean, Martin Ho actually apologized after the game. That was kind of low-key elite, by the way. I actually
respect
rate that.
I would never
I've never seen a manager publicly. I mean, I don't know why he didn't just do it in a press conference, but he just posted on his Instagram being like,
I respect it.
I'm the responsible for the L, and we're going to get better, and we're going to do better. And I think he's trying to build a project there with an identity that is accountability. Accountability is a huge principle in any form of successful governance and tenure. And I think they're really buying into the Ho spirit on the eve of Christmas, I guess.
Who's mad?
Yeah, Ho's.
No, I think he did it for two reasons. I think one is the Spurs ideology, if you like to call it, the Spurs philosophy that's been
Spursism.
Yeah, the Spursism. Yes, I agree with that. But I also think it's been something since Ange has come, and I think we can talk about that for eons. But basically, it's this idea that you have to hold yourself accountable, and Spurs for a long time hadn't. It was blame everything else, blame the fact that we're Spursy, whatever. But it's actually
Levy.
yeah. It's actually the 90 minutes. And he saw that the best way to galvanize before a North London derby, arguably one of the most competitive North London derbies that we're going to get, right?
Consequential, at least. This is the first time it's consequential.
You have to galvanize and you have to take responsibility. And I think in the dressing room, it'll probably show when they play up against Arsenal just how compact of a unit they are mentally, because I think that is what galvanizes good.
I think it would be their biggest win in the WSL.
It's not going to happen. If
they actually turn the North London exhibition into a North London derby, I will be very surprised. Honestly, it will be. I think this is a bit of a refresh game to get your miserliness back, and I think you'll do it. I think you're going to win. I think you'll win 3-4-1.
3-1.
If LCL put 4 past them, I'm thinking 3, or maybe actually no. You're due a game management mode game.
Oh, shut
right?
up! No, don't give me
2-0,
that. No, don't give me
2-0
that.
Arsenal. 2 goals early. Game management. Rene ball. The Renaissance continues. we were talking about how angry Ho's mad. I think Gazball and Skinner are much more mad at the moment after
Can we relegate
losing.
them both?
Yeah.
I don't care,
Yeah.
man.
Why is it not three? But my God, both of these teams copping late, very, very late, like equalizers at St. Helens Stadium and Chigwell Stadium, both rocked by Leicester and Brighton, respectively. Rosa Kafaji and Shannon O'Brien doing the business for Brighton and Leicester, respectively. A last-ditch effort from both teams. I mean, the only nice thing I can say about West Ham is that Shakira finally scored. And the P, I mean, it was the biggest P roller I've ever seen, the near post. I don't know how the ball went in the goal, but you're on the score sheet nonetheless. And this is the kind of goal that builds your confidence, right? Shakira is a purple patch player. When she's on, she's on. And if you're gonna get the patch to start, you have to get goals no matter how. But I mean, Leicester just found that way to that back post with that weird corner, and I don't know how West Ham didn't really deal with it, but saved a point. Two teams that are definitely fighting for those to escape relegation, and I think West Ham are. I mean, that was a huge 3 points to get, and they really squandered that chance.
I'm a fan who has sympathy for teams that are at the bottom of the table because, I follow teams that are outside
because
football.
proletariat.
No, I follow teams outside of football that aren't the most successful in the world. But I usually have sympathy. I have absolutely no sympathy for West Ham. Absolutely none. Because I'm sorry.
No, their teams actually. They did you see their League Cup performance? Like just like a few days ago.
I haven't seen it.
Asai bagged a brace, and I think Martinez did as well. So they in the League Cup they're winning 5-0. Okay. Like where is it? Where is it in the league? Where are they not doing it?
I think it's funny. I've always been a Rianne Skinner doubter. It's different because if we move on to Liverpool, I was never necessarily a Gazball doubter. I always thought that he was at least mid to high table WSL worthy. But he's proving to be really struggling with a team that doesn't necessarily suit his style of play. I think we saw this with City as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when players are not suited to that wing to striker play, it fundamentally breaks down. And to me, it's always about defense. And I don't think he's a good defensive coach.
Oh, I mean, I would have said they defended so well, and Liverpool actually the players defended with a lot of character. I mean, it's kind of just sad. That
I think it's basically coming to crunch time. I think it's like we have to try and save this guy's job because he's he's unhireable 100%. After I genuinely believe he's unhireable after this.
Yeah, I don't know of a club that would want him after this. But I mean, the goal was good. The goal was taken well. Lily Woodham silently having a solid season. I think she definitely deserves to be a WSL level player, even if Liverpool were to go down. I don't think they will. But ultimately, they pressed really hard. Sam Kerr, the real Sam Kerr, by the way, the real Sam Kerr that actually has her face on Chelsea on FOTMob as Chelsea Sam Kerr. It's so weird that they haven't fixed that.
It's because I run FOTMob, Ben.
You run FOTMob. I'm so excited for the revenue accrual from FOTMob because we use it so much. But Risa Shimizu, shout out Risa, by the way. That goal line clearance, that should have been the game. That should have been we won because Risa Shimizu saved us from the jaws of an equalizer, and Rosa Kafaji had to ruin it. Pretty well. It was a great goal, but really well taken.
Rosa Kafaji to me, I mean, I talked to you about this before we put the pod on, but I think Rosa Kafaji is a player that is in such a unique predicament as a footballer because I think she's on the precipice of being a very, very good player, but there are fundamental parts of her game which I think she just needs to improve, and I think she has a capability of improving them, particularly it's her defensive efforts and her run back, but they're all physical things that she can improve. I think what she's doing with this Brighton side is actually proving how much of a system player she can be, and I think that's a very mature thing that you can have as a young player that's coming from a league that is system-based, yes, but also moments-based. So she came from a Swedish league, which saw her integrate into a system, which then started to kind of rotate around her. Now she's going into a Brighton team after not doing very well with Arsenal, if we're being honest. And she's either starting and having impact, or she's coming on and having impact. And I think technically, because she is, I think, one of the most advanced Brighton players, if you take Kirby out of that, I think she's probably the best midfielder in that team. I see her personally. If I don't see her in the WSL for long, I actually see her either going to Germany for like at Frankfurt, PSG
Interesting.
even. I
Yeah,
just don't see her in
I
this
can see
league.
PSG
You know what I mean?
definitely.
I just don't see her in this league. I see her in technical leagues that balance system with moments.
You know, I mean, I'm going to say something really mean, but the reason I see her at PSG is I see it. I see her career path as relative to her performance on the pitch as a player who needs good players around her to
Mm,
succeed or the competition to be worse than her. No, like
mm.
and that's not a knock at like her competitive aspect because she's only 22. I mean a lot of people will say that 22 you should be pretty much fully developed. You're a young player. You're younger than Kyra Cooney Cross. You're a young player. You know what?
That's the
Let's do that
benchmark.
as the Kyra benchmark is
Yeah.
if you're older than her, you are old. But
Mm.
she's a important cog in that Brighton system, albeit on the bench because of her form. And sometimes it's her moments that carry her over the line. But I could see her at PSG playing against Montpellier 3-0. She gets a brace, she gets an assist as well, and she doesn't need to accentuate, she doesn't need to put in physical battles against Scottish Sam Kerr and get battered and bruised in the WSL every week. And I don't know if that's a rude thing
No,
to say like
there
it's
are
not
just some
ambitious. It's
players.
just yeah, exactly. You just see them doing beautiful things in other parts of the world. And look, Leggy and I are the last people that will be like, oh, if you go to PSG and cop eight, if you go to PSG and you're trying to win something and you say dumb things, we're going to call you out. But if you go to PSG and you come second and you drop 18 goal contributions with the 9 goals, 9 assists, and 3 player of the matches or 4 player of the matches, or more than that, we're going to say you're doing an amazing thing around the grounds. And then we'll be like, you know what? You're ready for a VFL move. You're ready for, like, the buck doesn't stop with your next move. It's just build the confidence in a way that suits your game. Yes, maybe I am calling you a luxury player, but there are clubs that like
Yeah,
luxury.
exactly.
There is,
Well,
there,
Lily
yeah.
Johannes, I think, is a really good example. I mean, I think they're completely different players, but I think fundamentally that technical ability, the vision, all that kind of stuff that actually needs you to have more possession of the ball. It's natural. If you're technically gifted and you're a player who likes to create, you need more time on the ball. So
Yeah.
the WSL with the constant 1v1 contest is not going to afford you that time.
100%. And there are players like that, that fundamental, functional, top tier player that's not yet like lining the cogs, but learning the ropes. I think of Sydney Schertenlieb at Barcelona as a player that will be there, albeit she is younger than Kafaji, but she will get there. She will be a part of the system, and unless she goes abroad or goes up, but I don't know why you would leave if you're in the system getting minutes and you're learning from the best of the best. But that's how I see Kafaji going to a team where she doesn't need to be more than what she is, which is that impact, beautiful. She shouldn't have to track back. She doesn't have to do all the hard, laborious tasks that take away from the creative brilliance and intelligence that she obviously has. But that's all I really have to say about those two. I mean, relative stinkfest, but late goal thrillers. Vamos to the Liga F. There is interesting. I mean, there was interesting moments in this week, but not really, as the big three all pick up wins. Barcelona 8-0 first half. We are very much back. This is
This
this is
is
exactly what they needed. Exactly what we said. We said they needed a state. This was going to be the statement win after the Sociedad loss, the recharge, and the players that stole the show. Ultimately, Vicky Lopez is 100th game for Barcelona as
insane. Absolutely insane.
a 19-year-old who scores the first of the 8, and it's a beautiful long shot. It is
How many long
magnificent.
shots in this game then? How many?
Three. I
Yeah,
think I had
Mappi's
three, four.
yeah,
Two from Leia,
yeah,
one from Mapi, one from Vicky. And
incredible.
then
Yeah.
and then Alexi goal, a Pina goal, and Sydney forcing in an own goal with Caro to finish the last one. All in 47 minutes. It wasn't in the whole game. It was 8-0 in the first half. And
And
then
then they just
obviously The
It's like,
second half is called Cruise Control FC, which Barcelona can do. They knocked the ball about for 45 minutes and created a few chances, but nothing immense or special. But I have to mention the ex, Princess Leia. Oh my God. I did not know she could strike a ball like that. I actually just didn't know she could do that. But
actually, I've seen a lot on X or Twitter. I've seen a lot on Twitter, like a liability, right? Like this whole idea that with
liability, yeah.
like this whole idea that
Bugger
that
off.
for City she was either giving up
Had
the ball too
moments.
much, had moments.
Had moments.
I think now, and I've said this to you, and I think it's developed now over the past month. Her in the six has been just such a good move and such a natural move for a player that's already pushes up as a centre half anyway. I just think the
Imagine
cover
we
is
played her in the six. Imagine we played her in the six and
pushed
Yui was in
Yui
the
up.
eight.
Yeah, but I knew
Oh
you were
my
gonna say
God,
that.
I would have cried. I would have cried. Now I need to sing from the start, Leve. Oh my God, Leia was that. I mean, those strikes were just glorious. The second one is seriously that is a like technically beautiful strike. Like it wasn't just where the ball landed, it's how she looked doing it was so comfortable, so confident. And again, that's what Barca does to you.
And I
Barca is
don't,
just a place that fosters your best
yeah,
moments.
and I don't think that this is a per Romeu thing. I just don't.
No.
I look at Barca and I go, that is a team that yes has coaches. Obviously, they are
Yeah.
coached, but
Yeah.
on the park, it just looks so instinctive. All the play. I mean, we could go out for days, but I think Laia has slotted in perfectly. She loves it there. It's her home. And you said in the notes, who needs Patry? I need Patry. I
Yeah,
do.
Arsenal needs Patry at this
Yeah.
point, by the way. And that's the goal for Arsenal is to get a six like that.
How do
That
we
is
even
the
how do we
yeah.
even advertise?
Five
Please.
million pounds.
We go, Patrick, I know you left the team that beat Bayern 7-0, but you want to come to a team that bottled the 2-0
Yeah,
lead?
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good sell. I
Yeah.
think that works. But ultimately, Leia Alexandri is. I mean, you were saying Romeu's system isn't the individual brilliance. 100% agree. And setting up individual brilliance isn't him, but the press is him.
Yeah.
The press is
Sure.
definitely him, and the retainment of possession. The second half was a very well coached performance, I felt like, and that's all I really need to say about a routine win at home for Barcelona. Atletico de Madrid, who went away to Logroño and won 5-0. Crazy
Luani
again,
party, man.
mate.
Luani party.
She's a
I,
demon.
I
She's a demon.
I was reading this is funny. I was reading an Atleti fan website and they were talking about all the teams, the men's, the women's, extra. The first person that came up, including the youth, everyone, the first person that came up was Luani. They're obsessed with her down at
Ain't
Atleti.
nobody like Luani. Oh my God. Since she came off the bench, it's just maybe she was injured. Maybe she was always in the starting lineup in their heads. Maybe it was just an injury and she was coming back from it. But it was so many bench moments for a while. And then now she is just chefing up this league.
I
It is
mean, 10
crazy.
matches, right? 11 goals. She has like 8 goal contributions as well as it's insane. I think that
Doing
she's
it
a
in the Champions League as well.
yeah, and I
Like,
think honestly, I think Atleti might be halting her to some respect. I think there's a possibility of her
all
moving
right, all
on.
right. Where's she go? Where does she go?
Look, I think that the Atleti system suits her naturally because of the Joga Bonito of it all, right? Like that makes sense, right?
There is a lot of Brazilians in that athletic side.
But I think if you're a player like Luani, you're young, you should push yourself. And I'm not saying the WSL, I'm not saying the WSL, but and this might be a step down, but a place like a PSG, like a VFL, like a Frankfurt,
Interesting.
these are the teams that I think,
Completely disagree. I think
no, but
honestly, I think it's NWSL or bust. I think for me, she's a player that could end up in the NWSL on a big
yeah,
fee. She's very
Marta,
young.
the Marta replacement.
Low key,
Yeah.
yes, that, but also I think it's firstly the Brazilian fan base love the NWSL because there's a lot of Brazilians there anyway. Her friends are probably there,
The
and
mates.
I mean, yeah, the mates. I mean, we don't bring that into account a lot, but like ultimately. I don't know if you a lot of Brazilian internationals play in the
It's
NWSL and you want
endemic
to
within
meet.
Woso as well. It just
And
is.
also the commute from Spain to Brazil is not an easy one if your family's back in Brazil. But
I
the
Yeah, I just think I want more injection of Brazilian football in leagues that don't necessarily always suit the Brazilian style of play. I think Brazil right now is in a really good position internationally, in a position that they haven't been in since kind of the prime days pre-2015. And so for me, I think the Brazilian players at that level, Tarciana is a great example. You know, she's come
Great player.
over and she,
I hate that I have to say it because
you
I
know what
thought
I
she's a
mean?
bit
Like
of a fraud. I
I
still
think
think
she's a
she's
fraud too.
overrated, but
I also think she's a fraud too. Don't get me wrong.
but
But
she's
it's
doing a
that move.
business. She's
Yeah,
doing
it's
a
the move.
business, and she's learning. Again, a lot of how we talk. We're very much the idealistic. Like we play football with our heart, right? So, like for us, we want Luani to play the best football she can, and that might not be at Atleti. I would love her to stay at Atleti, be an Atleti legend, and do that. But obviously, that's not the natural pathway of Woso, and it's hard. But yes, as we talk about this game, I mean, my actual Atleti go, Gabby Garcia. I mean, I think it's just because she was taller than the ref, but got given two rightful yellows. Sadly, she got sent off very. But again, this happens. She is a red card merchant. Like she definitely cops heaps of
She's
yellows.
passionate in the center of the park.
Oh, 100%. And it comes from being that South American international like talisman for her country. But Bartel came on, super sub Bartel, my other midfield. I mean, they just got
So
so many
many
players.
midfield
So many
goats.
midfield athletic goats. It's Fiamma and Boarisa and Bartel. Mate, just come to City. They're all great. They're all good. But Bartel got a goal. I mean, they're all getting on the sheet and they're playing that beautiful. Again, we say it every week with them when they're playing a lower side. The Alhamas, the Logronos, these teams, the Deportivos, they play that integral Yoga Bonito, that beautiful game, and that's what makes them so good to watch. I just want to see them translate it to the UCL, but again, it's that inexperience, and it'll come with time and investment and competition experience. Their counterparts on the other side of the city are giving Alhama their back-to-back Alhammering, the 5-0 after the 8-0.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, this is tough stuff, but a seventh consecutive victory, a very rotated Real Madrid side. Comendador starting again, my Madrid youngster, but again, they're just doing their job and working really hard. I don't think there's much to say in the sense of like their actual stars, because I mean Debrits did come on, that there was an injury, sub, right? And she had to deal with that, but ultimately the game was slightly inevitable in the sense of Athenea coming on and holding and retaining, and then Navarro coming on, all their usual suspects getting that 30 minutes of match fitness for the UCL match that was coming up.
And then I think Linda, I mean, she came on, and if it weren't for some of the absolute like worldy 1-for-1, never going to be replicated again goals that we've seen this season or this year, I think Linda has a great shout for at least one of the goals of the Liga F, because I think you can kind of like any run is fantastic, right? It's beautiful.
This is what she does, man. This is what she flipping does.
Yeah, but it is the technical ability right at the end. She like does this beautiful move which she completely tricks the last defender and then slots it in. I'm constantly in awe of her. And she's a player for me that I was very cautious of not highly rating too early. I thought I was like, she's one of those flair players that you really have to give time and you have to see how they mature. I think that she will go down as one of the best recruitments that Real Madrid has done, and to put so much effort into retaining her, and I think that they will retain her for a while. I think
that's right. Kelly O'Hara, who wants her in the NWSL, she ain't going anywhere. She ain't
where's she gonna play? Freaking Bay FC?
Yeah, like, exactly. No, she's going to Mormon FC. But no, I completely agree. The thing I like about Linda Caicedo is that I'm never gonna look at her as a player that needs to be better than what she is in terms of goals and assists. The score sheet is a part of the game that we're all going to talk about, but players go through go through moments and spurts where they just don't get on the sheet. And she's one of them, because when she does get on the sheet, it's bang, bang, bang. It's all guns are blazing. But the reality is she's not every week one goal, every week an assist. She is facilitating the game from deep. She's playing in the 10. She's moved to the 8 at parts of this season. She's moved to the wing. She is wanting to develop her game so that she's more than just looked at as a winger with low GA output. And this will be the litmus test, right? Because in the future, Woso will become a place where GA is all, and GA still rules all. I mean, it doesn't really, because Ewa Payor's GA is a joke and she got nowhere near the top 5 in the Ballon. But GA does run things when people talk about stats, and I think her GA is quite unflattering. But the litmus test is that Linda Caicedo is a top 5 prospect in this sport, because she can just. There's not one bad part about her game. I really can't criticize her ability on the ball. Her lack of speed is made up by her brakes. Her deceleration is insane. I think she's probably got the best brakes in the world. I'd argue maybe Carolyn has better brakes than her. But
I have a crazy take. I haven't seen a player like this in terms of like pure technical ability met with the maturity since Marta. I'm saying it.
Whoa. Oh my Jesus. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm saying it. I'm sorry.
God.
You
know what? Like, so if she stays at Madrid, the comparisons to Vicky Lopez will come, right? Yeah, so it'll be their left wing diminutive, like wonder kid versus our diminutive wonder kid. I think Vicky Lopez. I personally think Vicky Lopez will be like everything that everyone thinks she will be.
But she doesn't have that Marta quality.
But she doesn't have the talismanic quality that Caicedo can do, and Marta has shown for time. And we will get to Marta is here. We will get to Marta,
and that's why I made the comparison, because you're seeing late stage Marta that doing run.
Actually, you could put. I mean, you're the editor. You're going to put those runs of their 2 goals together, and they've both got that. They both just got that dog in them. Really, that's the real way to put it. But I can't be more excited to watch. Yeah. There's not many players in the world I'm more excited to watch in the world than Linda Caicedo.
The
Buns. And we're going to talk about a Tilly who started for Frankfurt. She finally started a game. Oh my God. And they won as well. VFL lost to Frankfurt in the big. This is like the fight for second at this point. Yeah. But Frankfurt away at the Stadio de VFL. But yeah, a huge game, and Rasso started, and she didn't play bad at all. In fact, I think it was her best game this year in a Frankfurt top.
I agree.
She had some amazing chances created, won some free kicks. This is the Rasso, the spitefulness, going at players, the direct
passion,
football. Yeah. Passion, exactly. She needs to feel the environment and get that exposure therapy ultimately, because that's how Rasso gets into her form, is that she needs to build that emotional connection with the place and the rivalry, and every time she plays, it's a moment in her history that I think that she feels like that. It's like, you're in my way, and she didn't end up on the score sheet with a goal and an assist, but this is the level I expect Rasso to be playing at going forward.
It's similar to kind of the Reutler, right? I mean, you can look at this game and go, well, Reuteler's not on the score sheet. What's she done? She had impact, and so did Rasso. But I think the players that we really need to focus is Anyomi and Freya.
Oh, my God. Anyomi, man.
Yeah, it's to me, those 2 players, when they click, specifically Freya, who I can easily say has had a really poor 6 months leading up to the last 2 to 3 weeks, where she's really hit form. But her inclusion in the starting 11 and making impact, to me, is why she's so integral to the final third product that Frankfurt have, because you're not getting all that assists from Reuteler, from Sens, from the crosses in. You're not getting those get on the score sheet without Freya. So to me, she's so integral. But Blomqvist as well. I mean, she didn't play, she didn't start, And
Yeah,
then
no, she didn't, and she
no,
came on and did the job even when they had 10 men.
mm,
So they had that red card as well, which
early
is
38th
crazy.
minute.
Yeah, 38th minute, Lurson was off, but they changed their formation. They made the necessary in-game changes to be able to facilitate for it, not necessarily through subs, but through actual management of their formation and how they played, because Reuteler was able to occupy that left side in a way with Graw that meant that Lurson's absence was nullified. And don't get me wrong, VFL had chances. Altenberg, 7 saves. She did her job. Definitely, you could easily give her player of the match for how she played. I think Freigang probably edges it. I think just the attacking output was incredible. And Yomi, again, this is what she does. She catches fire. I mean, there's a reason why I always say Amyomi and Mallard together, because these players, when they're on, very hard to stop. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. But we have to talk sneakily about Frankfurt. So Frankfurt had that rubbishish start to the season. I mean, they had the good moments pre-season to get in, and I said that they were going to be this force, and then they kind of dropped off a bit.
The Champions League, I think that result really dinted the momentum that they had.
Well, the Europa, yeah.
No, the Champions League qualifiers.
Oh, yeah, actually getting to that point where I thought they would be in a Champions League like dark horse, and then they didn't get there. But it's now the last 10 games they've dropped 1 game, and they've had 1 draw, 1 loss, 8 wins. That's the Frankfurt motto now, and they've changed this formation. They're playing a little bit narrower. Reuteler is exposing the width of other teams by cutting through them through the middle, and they're shaping their youngsters so well. I have to say that players like Graw, who are 22, and Yvelge, who's now playing center half. She's playing midfield, 19-year-old Swiss international. This Swiss crop of youngsters coming through are going to scare a lot of teams off. But ultimately, I mean, Lena Altenberg is a 20-year-old German goalie, right? So we've got a lot of stuff to learn, and then they're learning from the best in experience from Blomqvist, who's coming on to finish off games with 10 men. Like, this is exactly what you want to say. I mean, they made it 3-1. Pop tried to get back, but again, VFL suffering similar. I mean, a tough week after losing to both Lyon and Frankfurt. They had 31 shots in this game, 10 on target, but only 2 big chances to Frankfurt's 4. So they're not building the right chances
Final
they have
product,
their final product for players like Pop. Pop shouldn't be getting a goal in the 90th minute. She should be a sealer, not fighting for it, right? This is
They
not
haven't
the Pop
moved
way.
on, and I feel like that's the problem with these old giants of European football. We've seen it a lot in the men's game as well, just kind of holding on to that last bit. You see it with Girelli, with Juve, Pop with VFL. Even I think Lyon have done really well. They haven't like held on to players like Arda in that same way that with Pop, and they let go of Lesser this season. So,
but they rotate them better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Pettermore's in deeper. I didn't really like. I think she has to be further forward, because I know the deeper role is good because her long shots are really good, but she has to be ahead of the ball. She's quite isolated between Minga and Lasvine, but Minga also missing a penalty. Like, they had chances. They definitely had chances to tie this game up.
Minga is a player who we've talked about before. I think her and Bisaya are 2 players that I think are just fantastic. I think this was a great midfield battle, because I think Sens as well and Reuteler, obviously.
Sens, I mean, again, Minga missing a penalty is a shock to all Woso fans collectively. I think if Sens misses a penalty, the world will end. But ultimately, I mean, Stanway, it's what? Sens, Minga, Stanway, Chloe Kelly, and no, I was going to say a Spanish player. But none of them can take penalties. While these two were battling it out, I think Bayern would be very happy that Frankfurt beat VFL, their main challengers. And then they're also very happy because they beat Berlin. Classic, not much to say, but Clara, the fucking ball. Man of the match, player of the match again. Another assist. Julia Gwynn, 1 goal, 1 assist in her 65 minutes on the field. They're killing them. It's Dalman, it's Harder. There's an own goal. It's just the only question I have for Bayern is their rotations. They just don't rotate enough, nowhere near enough. Like it's the same 11 every time. It's the same back four. It's the same middle three. Dahlmann's the only one that gets rotated in
Yeah,
and out of
yeah.
this team. And Clara Bull plays all the 90s. And obviously Leah Schuler and Janovic. So there's two players that get properly rotated, and the rest of them, I'm like, okay, do you have another left back, another centre half, another right back? I mean, I know you have another goalie, and that's fair, but you once Gross is back in, she's starting to get her minutes back. But that midfield, I'm wondering whether Tanikawa, Stanway, and I mean, Oberdorf's already injured. Tanikawa and Stanway are going to be absolutely wrecked by the end of this season because of how many minutes they're playing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of games. It's not that the whole point of the league is that you use your squad across the board, and I don't feel like Bayern are using the entirety of their squad when needed, when they're battering teams. I feel like they can make the subs earlier, a bit like Barca were earlier on in the season.
Do you not think it's just basically a drop off of quality? I mean, I didn't see it in the Arsenal game. I think that was a completely different predicament. I just think with the league, I would probably want to be using those lesser players, if you like. But I just think, and this is a quality of Bayern's coach. He
Yeah.
does make later substitutions. He's very he's convicted.
He's very convicted in his ways. Yes.
Yes, he's very convicted in his ways, and I think generally, if you have something that works, don't try and fix
No,
it.
100%. I'm just thinking more if Harder's going to play this deeper role. Damjanovic is relatively a brick. She has an incredible engine, and if one of those players in that midfield hole gets injured now,
And that's what I was about to say.
It's
The injuries will
it's
be
not
a
about it's not just about, yes, the depth on the bench is weaker than what's on the field, but who's the next in line? So Ariana Cruzo is probably the next in line, and she's not a bad player in any way. I think she's got a lot of growth. But if Ariana Caruso goes to the bench, someone else comes to the bench, and then that means that their bench is weaker, and that means that exposure, that you need to give Ariana Caruso more than 17 minutes in a game against Union Berlin, because ultimately that's how you build depth. You have to build depth through exposure, and not I don't know. They were already 4-0 up at the 48th minute. Why not make a sub at 48 instead of waiting another 10 minutes to bring on Narsen Schweng and Alara Settler? Like, they brought off Pernille Harder and Gwyn. Obviously, Gwyn was injury prevention and restricted minutes for Narsen Schweng. But
The only thing I have to say is I think Bayern have really done well with their recruitment insofar as age. I think that they have players hitting their prime, about to hit their prime, and then players who have just passed their prime but still know how to do a job. So to me,
definitely.
it's the rotation, sure, but as I said before, it's if it ain't broke, don't fix.
But again, yes, 9 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses, top of the league, clear, gone, clear, and probably going to do it again. And I mean, do you just engrave Clara Bull's name on the Player of the Season trophy already? Just give it to her now?
Ben, I'm being serious right now. It's engraved on the Ballon d'Or.
On the
I don't care.
You're just pilled that we were like glazing her all of last week, and
no,
then
I said it last week too.
She dunked on your team so badly.
I said it last week too.
No, I understand that she is top 5. She is top 5 right after the Arsenal performance. She's 100% top 5. But the problem is that when they get knocked out of the Champions League, and they sit there in their own league, and she ends up with 20 assists and 15 goals, and we go, wow, she had an amazing season, and then she ends up 8th, and then some numpty online in the WSL goes, how did Alessia Russo end up below Clara Bull when Clara Bull plays German farmers every week? Well, you play Rihanna Skinner every week, so you know what? Like, the levels are clear, but I agree. If we're going purely on form with no context, Clara Bull is the form player in the world. Right now, she's number one. The fear factor is there. The aura is chlorable. Chlorable. How do we not say that? But yeah, no, we're not making another TikTok. But no, we love Clara Bull because why do you go to games to watch players that make you feel something? And
In the words of Curtis Sewa, this is a bit of a niche. Stop glazing me. Stop glazing me.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, we watch at 3 a.m. to watch Clara Ball. That's why we watch at 4:45 to watch players like Clara Ball. PSG battering Fleury Morag. I'm gonna butcher this. Fleury Moragis. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm going with. FMU.
Yeah?
That's why you couldn't have saved me.
I wanted to see
let
you
me
say
do
it.
that. You know what? FUM. But yeah, no. Looked again. Ole ole. Nah. The Dutchie providing the goods in the league. She just has to start in the league. I don't understand why it's even a question at this point. But look,
Dutch.
Brace. Echegini playing further up, she's doing a great job as well. I think she was good in the Champions League as well. She's doing really well in the league, and they are building. They are going to build, and they are going to like build that robustness and that chemistry between their best 11 once they cement that best 11, and they've started it already. They're battering their league teams. It's just a matter of what. Again, we know PSG have gone further in the UCL than what they're about to do, so it sits a bit uneasy that they're now this team that's like second and won't probably will contest for domestic cups and trophies and hopefully pull out one trophy against Kangwon. That would be impressive, but I mean, it's hard to say that when Montpellier are getting absolutely schlemized. The Kang machine, the rotation FC Kang, because this 5-1 was destruction. And one of my favorite bench goats. We all have a bench goat, whether it's Arsenal's Jenna Neiswanger or City's Laura Weinrother, or I mean any other team that has a bench goat. I mean, at this point in Chelsea, it's Naomi Girma. But no, $1 million bench. We don't have $1 million bench goats, put it that way. But the bench goat for Lyon, I always say, is Spava, and she is doing her job very well when she comes on the field, because when she plays more than 70 minutes, she's a machine. I think she's great, and she got 2 assists this game. She was player of the match. And I mean, you've mentioned it, I'll let you do it, but the system suits her very well.
So I appreciate Suava. I've always said that she is she learned the trade of Ali Carpenter. Right? They didn't come in at the same time, but Suava came in and basically learned off of someone like an Ali Carpenter. I think personally, the connection between her and Brandt in this game was very noticeable. Brandt got her first GA, so she got an assist this game. It's her first in 7 rounds in Division 1.
In the league, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's damning, honestly. I think you're coming off of one of your best individual tournaments, a breakout tournament for you. You're 22? And there's obviously still room to grow, and I just think she's a player.
League form is her league form. No?
Her league form has always been her league form, and I always had doubts about her. She really pulled me over in the Euros. I was a Brandt believer in the Euros.
Yeah, I said she was Germany's player of the tournament. I was waking up at 3 a.m. to watch Jule Brandt.
I was obsessed. I was obsessed with her work rate. That's the thing that really stood out to me. This system, though, I think it's the fact that they have so much possession already that there's not that same. You're not looking for that player to get the ball back, to make the tough struggle of picking the ball up and then driving it forward. Right?
She doesn't have to do that maverick stuff.
And then the second thing is, and we mentioned this when we were talking earlier in the week about just the style that Lyon are playing now. It's a rational style of football. It's very pragmatic. It's A, B, C. That's it. And
it's also methodical through the thirds. Like their second third is so technical, and that comes from having players like Johannes and players like Lindsay Heaps, veterans who can ping passes and get passes to where they need to go. But now they're working from the back third. So Nelage and Sombath and Renard and Engen when they play, but not in this game, obviously. The long ball to straight skipping the second third. They have all these players with technical ability, and they're just like, nope, screw this, play it over, because we have Jule Brandt and De Mornay who can just outsprint everyone. And it's incredible that they're starting to finally tether the pieces of the puzzle of what Jule Brandt should be for Lyon.
I've always said this and I stick by it. I do think Eula Brand is the winger equivalent to someone like Stina. I think her pace is there.
Wow.
I think, yeah, I think her pace is there.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what she does off the ball, but to me, it's always been the touch. And her finishing is, I think her finishing is better than Stina's actually. But I think that there's some
Interesting.
things technically that I would want her to improve on just to get in the game more when it's not that scruffiness that you get with a Germany system.
I mean, I reacted a bit poorly to it, but I actually think it's kind of a compliment. I think the reality of Stina is when she's unplayable. Unplayable footballer when she's on her game. You play the ball ahead of her, and Eula Brand is the same. Unplayable at the top of her game. She just needs to be on the top of her game. And again, another player kind of like Caicedo, GA's very unflattering. Across her season, never been a flattering stat for her. But if she's playing in a UCL second leg or a first leg of a semi-final against Arsenal or Chelsea, and she bags 2 in a game, no one will care about your...
I don't see it right now.
No. You don't see it now. Don't see it now. But we're not at knockout football yet because her peak is knockout football, right?
Okay,
We're still in league phases. We're still getting used to the new environment in France. I don't think she's left Germany for football before. So this is all new to her. But I see a patch of form coming for her, and it's going to be in the knockout stages. And all of the questions about GA will have to go out the window when if she has a knockout stage run. And this is why GA will destroy arguments, is that ultimately if a player dominates the knockout stages, which is why I think Mariona could have easily won the Ballon d'Or last year, but if they dominate the knockout stages, that's the point. That's the crux. It's the crunch time. It's not, it can be the entire season, but the beauty, the best moments of the sport, the players that woke up at the age of 12 years old dreaming about is the knockout stages of the big tournaments. And Eula Brand is built for those stages. And I think at VFL, those moments would be limited. And now at Lyon, it's relatively guaranteed, which is a scary thing to say when you have a big game player like Eula Brand in your arsenal to use. No pun intended there, because she's not going to Arsenal anytime soon. The Serie A, which, I mean, is lighting up every week, and you said Roma would win the league, guaranteed.
I said it. I was like 2 games in.
And I think you cursed them because the Firenze fire was lit and fused as Winona Heatley. Oh, I mean, what happened here?
See, this is what I was going to say. I don't think this is Roma. I think
it's the Tillies. Oh, here we go. The Tillies agenda. Here we go.
It's not the Tillies agenda. It's basically just the fact that we have always had centre backs who are like this. Just so gaff prone. And Winnie Heatley right now is in the thick of it. You know, Alana Kennedy has moved out of the spotlight. Let's bring center stage Winnie Heatley and her double yellow and her poor performances in the last month.
Oh, it's really sad that, like, I was thinking about, like, at the end of the year, we're going to do a bit of the best, like, we're going to do an awards show probably where we do, like, the best games, the best goals, the most underrated. We'll do our overrated. We're going to piss you all off. It's going to be fantastic. But one of the awards I was thinking about is the best performance of the year, like a best game that we watched or that we saw that we thought this player in this game was demon time. And then we're going to have a worst performance of the year. And I can't think whether this performance against Fiorentina, where she gets 2 yellows in 20 minutes, is worse than her Barcelona game. And I'm like, I don't want to have 2 noms from the same player in the worst performance of the year.
It's so incredible.
But,
it's incredible.
Oh my God. It is like, come on, that's rule 1 of the sport is don't get 2 yellows. Don't like, you nominate who's going after the player to not have that happen again. But she knew she was off, and that's a character trait that we have as Matildas. Obviously, we love that. But ultimately, like, this is what Fiorentina do. They've scored goal after goal, and they averaged like 2 goals a game at this point. And I mean, they played Roma relatively off the park. I have to mention Bredgard. Oh my God, what a machine on that right wing. The Danish youngster, relatively, but 2 goals, 2 goals, 1 assist, and I mean Yonogi didn't even play well. Yonogi's the talisman for Fiorentina when I've been watching. And she didn't really have much to do in this game because, I mean, the game was done by then. Like, they had their midfielders doing the business. They had their defenders coming on and scoring goals. It was crazy, crazy business. But ultimately, Elia Pilgrim, Corelli, Dijuel, I can't pronounce her name, but bloody LDG. I'm calling her LDG. But Lucia, like, they all came on to try and save the game. But the reality was that no matter what happened, the red card made Roma suffer. Rossitini tried to make the game his by making that early sub of Mola, but the midfield suffered as a hand of it. And no offense to Giuliano, I mean she scored a goal. She was still fantastic. Created 3 chances again. That's what she does. She's just that good, but again, not enough. Hard with 10 men, and ultimately pulls away and gets the business done.
I think it's a bad game defensively if the player that comes off in 23 minutes is not the worst rated player in the team, and
That's really
the
bad.
players aside her got worse ratings, and we can it's FOT mob, it's whatever, it's based on stats, but you actually saw it in the game as well.
Yeah, they got overwhelmed on that right side. It was crazy.
I have to mention, 2 players off the bench from Fiorentina getting GA. And then a very special player coming off the bench as well, Lena Hurtig, coming off for a solid 25-ish minutes. Didn't do much, but I will watch anything that Lena Hurtig is a part of. I'm obsessed with her. I love her.
Do you think she's more than a Streets won't forget? They'll never forget Lena Hurtig.
Streets will never forget Lena Hurtig.
I mean, if anything, not just for the Arsenal, but for the Sweden moments.
Oh, yeah.
That penalty. Serious? It's the penalty. The penalty is the big one. The VAR pen.
Just bring her on for vibes. I just love her.
100%. But speaking of a place where the vibes are up, Milan beating Juve. I mean, oh my God, Evelyn EJ. We have to talk about Evelyn EJ. This is. I'm coining it now before she gets big. I mean, it's hard because there's so many Swedish youngsters. But
she's 24. She's done her rounds.
No. I know, I understand. But like with Van Geheim coming through, obviously you still have Stina, they still have JRK, they still have a crop. But Schroeder coming through at Häcken, this crop of Swedes is coming again. It's going to be another renaissance for the Swedes. But Evelyn EJ is going to be a part of it. And I'm going to say it now I'm going to say it based off last season, which is that she is the Woso Alexander Isak. The way she plays, the way she picks up the ball and knows her own ability to be able to get into spaces, she can just do it. She's a player that I would just bag. Like when she runs on goal, firstly, she scored and assisted in this game, and she got player of the match. Second time in a row, doing the business. Was amazing against Fiorentina when she Lazio, that's who it was, in the 4-2, did her job when she came on. But the reality is, knowing your own ability is probably one of the best abilities you can have in the sport. Knowing if you shouldn't go after an attack, you shouldn't go after a 50-50. She is so good at knowing her best moments, her best turns, her best moves, because she backs herself so, so highly. And again, huge competition in Sweden. I don't know if she's got a move in her. I feel like she'll just enjoy her life in Milan because,
she came on a loan to Milan. And in her first season, she only got a few goals. And then her second season, she got 12. So she went from 3 goals to 12 goals.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I mean, this is a player who's coming from a league. I forgot which league she came from, but it's like 50 games and like 30 goals, right? So this is a player who's getting output. And to me, she's a type of Swedish player that I think Sweden thrives off of. It's this coming in deep, getting the ball, picking it up and driving, but also being aware that her speed, her technical ability can outmaneuver these very stodgy Italian backlines.
Yeah, she was just in Sweden the whole time, and she was in Häcken, and she was in those academy links and stuff. But I wonder what it will look like now, where she's pretty much going for that career best season. I think that's the plan for a player like her. If she wants a move, I don't know what the plan is, but I mean, Swedish players have had a crop of success in Liga F. They've had a crop of success in the WSL. They have a huge success in in the NWSL and in international tournaments relative to the size of their country. But I mean, again, the doors are always open for strikers like that, and teams will look at Italy as always as a place with youngsters, youngsters experience, but also cheap buys, cheap purchases. This is where you look for the best of the best.
Sweden is producing some fantastic strikers, and strikers who we're now seeing moving on to tougher leagues, bigger competitions, and doing the job. I've always been a little bit skeptical of players who are a bit further down, maybe midfield to defense on Sweden for Sweden who move on. But I think strikers, you're always going to get quality and goals.
Yeah, and I mean, even if she wants to move laterally, I don't know what Milan's ambitions are this season, how they'll go, but I think Inter Milan, I mean, the Tessa Valla era will end at some point, and Milan will look for if I mean, again, it's a traitorous sign, but if they put the money down, EJ could definitely do that. But again, I could see her in Spain. I could see her in England for a mid-table pack
Brighton.
side. No question about it. Exactly right. They're good, a very good replacement for Adjumang at the moment could be. Inter also, I mean, we'll do it quickly, but Inter have had a very, very bad week. Holy moly. Drawing to Sassuolo 2-2 in the league, but then also coming up in the Europa Cup, just falling short again to Häcken, right? This is what happens when the games get together and you're a favorite and you put out extended squads, you put out your depth, and you get called out by pack sides in your respective league. And I think Inter have a lot to answer for as a team that's always seen as a favorite, not necessarily the winner, but a favorite.
They
for
have
the league.
players. I mean, you mentioned before, Tessa Walhart, McGill,
Yeah.
Andreas. Like you have players that have done the business before for other clubs. So it surprises me. I think it's predominantly based on system, honestly. And I think what they lack right now is that player who come on. They lack a lot of depth. And I mean, so Swallow is not a club that like I look towards to go like, that's the team that Inter will drop points to. But I think the league is so tight and you have such similar game styles, as I've mentioned before, that you're going to have these results where you're gonna miss out on the 3 points because technically you weren't up for it that game.
100%. And again, it's about setting the tone for what, again, having the ambitions to know what you're going to do for this season. They've kept many clean sheets this season. I think they've kept the most clean sheets in the competition, which is not very high. It's only 3, I believe, but they score goals, and Valla scoring goals. And if you look at the league stats, they're quite flattering to Tessa. But if you're not winning games, they're winless in their last 4. They've got to be able to do the business and be able to facilitate a future for them and an actual pathway through. But
it's only 3 points between 5th and 1st. So
yeah,
again, as I said, tight league.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what the Serie A FEMMINILE will offer 100%. As we move down under to the dub. Yeah. So we're talking about our teams 100%. We're going to talk about my team, City, getting it done. The revenge tour against Central Coast Mariners. Holly McNamara. I mean, she was just unbelievable. And like this is exactly the level that is shown between where Holly is, where the dub is, and then I mean, again, when you get offers around the world and you don't take them, you have to show why you haven't taken them. This is why. This is why you're still showing that your level's above your competition. But it wasn't just her. It was an amazing all-around performance, because this is the City that I've seen and watched over the last few years in terms of our play out from the back. When Stott is on, the ball playing from centre half is as good as it is in the dub, I think. But Macca was setting up chance after chance after chance for teenagers and 23-year-olds on the other side. But Shelby McMahon was the beneficiary of Macca's chance creation as she chips the keeper in the 45th minute and then got a headed brace in the 70th. But a 17-year-old getting a brace against Central Coast for that revenge in that final, that is everything we want. The future and the past doing the business, and the present is Holly the MC.
Well, I called it the return of the Mac, and it's because your Macs were firing, and
McMahon, oh,
yeah,
she's a player.
I actually I saw some commentary by Teo, who's one of our esteemed commentators here in the dub, and he actually said basically it's some of the mistakes that you're making early on in games playing out from the back, which because we hold City at such a high level, technically they're obviously superior than any
Yeah,
other team in the league. Those mistakes could be the things that bite them. I
100%.
disagree because if we're looking at this as a revenge, that game that was in the semi-final, City should have won that, right? That's
Oh yeah,
obvious. It was
100%.
the goal that Central Coast scored was offside. We know that it's completely obvious. You completely outplayed Central Coast, and I think Central Coast last year were a team that
Benefited.
benefited, were beneficiaries to teams just not in form or just things that went their way. I think now we're seeing the quality of City versus the kind of moments team of Central Coast, and we're seeing how those two things actually like they work out in City's favor because quality always trumps moments.
Oh no, 100%. But again, when that commentary is fair on the basis of like knockout football. So when you're talking about your system can always get caught out in knockout football, and that's kind of the story for City because on paper we should be top and we should be beating teams that are worse than us. But
And it happened in the
again,
Asia Cup as well. You know, the Asia Cup final as well. You were
yes,
playing Wuhan. It's very
exactly.
similar. It was basically those moments, those slight mistakes that
Yeah.
cost you that final.
50-50s and half-baked balls. But again, when Stott is on, that
Yeah.
doesn't when Stott is actually at the top of her game, that doesn't happen. And I mean, she's just again, McNamara wins her own penalty, scores her own penalty. I don't know what the keeper was doing, but scores her own penalty, and it was just an all-round successful performance from a team that needed it, especially after last week with the Sydney game, and Holly also just not necessarily getting pocketed by Willa, but the reality was like it was a bit of like, oh, has she maybe she's lost a step, maybe she's just warming up, but this is Holly McNamara has arrived for the 25-26 season,
You're
and this is
sitting, you're
what she's all
sitting,
about.
you're sitting comfortably in second.
Yeah.
Victory's third.
Yes.
We had an interesting game against Western Sydney. We blew them away easily, but this is not a
Yeah.
Western this is a Western Sydney team now for the last 2 years who have been just really poor, given the
Yeah.
investment that the men's side, if you like to call it, the
Yes.
institution of Western Sydney
The
themselves is.
gradient looks bad for them,
Yeah,
definitely.
and Western Sydney are an institution in the Sydney sphere of soccer because they're kind of seen as the antithesis of the
Sydney
the
FC, yeah.
coast Sydney FC, the hippies
Yeah.
over there. But I found this game to be incredibly one-sided, incredibly poor quality game,
Do
honestly.
you
Even
like any of your players yet?
no, bring back Chidiac. No,
Yeah,
Kennedy White,
always. Yeah.
7 minutes, just insane.
7 minutes in heaven, as I
Seven
coined
minute
it.
hat trick.
Yeah.
Look, she's come in to basically replace Emily Gilnick.
Emily, yeah.
I believe it's the Georgian league that she came from, but I might be
Yeah.
mistaken. It's really hard to assess a player when they come from a league that is just really inaccessible and you
Yeah.
don't know the standard. She's fine. She's okay. She's a very typical
Clearly a
Yank.
bagsman.
Yeah,
Like,
but she's a
ta
typical Yanks.
yeah.
I don't see
That's
anything
very true.
different.
Very, very true.
There are many Yanks now in the W League, and I've seen many of these Yanks say they've always dreamt about coming to the W League. I don't know why your dreams are like this. I think they're more nightmares than anything, but I mean, good for
If
you.
you've ever wondered why.
But no, I think Victory very well know what they have to do this season. There was a point in the season last year where I'm thinking, okay, well, the quality is there, right? It's a team that I may not love the players, but they're all in a very similar standard. So to me, it's like, how far can you push this? How experimental can you be? It was our coach's, I believe, record-breaking 200th game in the
Wow.
W League. I
That's
mean, like,
impressive.
that's pretty mad.
That is crazy.
But yeah, I think
Does that
Victory.
does that make you does that fill you with what like does that 200 make you feel excited like the
No,
loyalty and that,
I
or is
think
it
I
more a
really
lot, is it more like 200 and what we've achieved and what we want to achieve, is it
he
stagnant, are we stagnant a little bit?
he came in when Victory were in a post prime era. We were bottom of the table. We were poor. And he came in and he brought players in like Kyra and he
Yeah,
gave them the opportunities and
yeah,
he made the Kyra Cooney cross that we know today,
yeah.
basically, right?
But do you
And he
think that cemented his tenure basically
I
at
think I think his legacy is cemented. I don't think that you can change the fact that he's now associated with the success of Victory. But to me, if I'm being cynical and I'm thinking about the heights of this team, what they were and what they are now, it's his decision making in finals. It's his decision making in key games that to me have underpinned what has been an objectively successful tenure for him.
100%. And we did go over Kennedy White and how, 3 goals that were 3 of your classic 9 finishes, whether it's across the box,
from goalkeeper all the way to
goal,
striker.
the literally quarterback route one. She loved it. The half turn, long ball, and spins the defender, equalizes, and then the ball across the box. I thought Polachina is doing her job. I think I think her goal should be player of the season this year. Like that should be her goal. She is honestly, for us, like what she did for us, she was always good enough to be that level, and she should be able to do it for you guys. And I think, I think she can definitely get.
She's taken that 10, and that 10 for victory, across the men and the women, is a very important number and a very important legacy. And she made the move to the crosstown rivals. It's a pretty brave move. It's not as brave if you do it as a man, but it's the same thing, really.
You got to prove something.
You have to prove it
when you move. Yeah. Prove when you move, 100%. Get the merch down. But is there anything else you want to talk about in the dub or not?
Brisbane
really?
insane. Janssen is the signing of the season.
Janssen is a freak. That is true. There's always in any league, anywhere in the world, there is a Janssen who is good at what they do. Holy schlamoli. The biggest Leggies NWSL watch that's coming. So
I was so sad.
Ready.
I was so sad because I was ready for some awesome games, and did we get awesome games? We got absolute moments. It was insane.
The games weren't like
no,
they
weren't
90s. They weren't 90s of religious validation, but the moments are crazy. You could do a watch mojo just for this week of the top Woso moments, and a lot of them would be NWSL. This is it though. The playoffs are just such a big deal, and it is Americanized, but it is I was just about to say
I'm not actually a big fan of playoffs. I come from a country that loves them. We love finals, we love all that stuff. All our sports.
What country is that?
Australia, but I say in my WOG accent, but no.
I thought you were going to say Cyprus love playoffs. We just do.
I'm not a fan, but I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of interrogate what happens to teams in playoffs versus what happens in the home and away season. Because the biggest result that comes from this is the big one, KC Current losing to Gotham.
Get done. We called it. We actually manifested greatness. We didn't manifest Chewinga off the pitch, but we manifested greatness, which is that how is anyone going to beat Current? And I said, it's going to be Gotham and Orlando in the semi. And that's all I wanted. All I wanted was my 2 favorite NWSL teams to just be in that semi together.
I found that it was very interesting what happens to teams when they lose their strikers. I think that's pretty much the talking point of this round. Yeah. What happens in a league and in a team that is so hyper fixated on a specific type of footballer carrying you, basically? And I'm not saying Temwa Chewinga is carrying KC Current. They have absolute
their full team. The back 4 is there's no excuse. Chewinga is an asterisk because she's arguably player of the season in that capacity, but the full team effort and then also Andonovski's capacity, his reign over the reign, no pun intended, over Current at the moment has been absolutely life-changing for this back 4 that just don't ship goals the way they just did in this game. It's so weird.
It just basically shows what happens when you have one bad game in a playoff. This happened last season as well, and Gotham have been doing this for the last 2 seasons. You don't expect that an 8th place team, which by the way is not the 8th place, but not the 8th best team in the NWSL. So they're far from it. But the inclusion
form is different, yeah.
The inclusion of Jaden Shaw matched with the exclusion of Temwa Chewinga means that you're going to have that style of player that will just get you over the line. And her goal and then her assist to Katie Stengel, a veteran
That
in the
assist,
NWSL.
the assist is better than the goal, 100%.
That's what
But
makes it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm waiting for all the clips to come out of all to Lil Wayne's a milli, a milli, a milli. Oh my God. Like that was a millionaire's performance. That was actually like the first time we were watching. I mean, I watched a lot of Jaden Shaw in the international break and saw moments and glimpses where she's doing it. But that was the best game I've seen her play, I
I
think.
agree.
And to my memory, that was seriously just like that's what she has to do. That's what I mean. It's weird to say that because you're not going to get that every week. But when you put the price tag on a player like that to that age, players like her, players like Moultrie, this is what they've got to do. They've got to show up in the biggest of the big moments, and to do it against the best team all year is you can't ask for more. That writes your £1 million check right there. That performance alone.
I saw it with Midge Purse 2 seasons ago. Just the post-season performances of players that just really push a team over the line despite their placing on a ladder. I think that's what the NWSL offers, and that's why everyone, especially the Yankophiles, call it the best league in the world, because post-season you're seeing a completely different style of
Different
football.
gravy.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
different
different.
gravy.
Yeah, and I mean, if we move on, I mean, obviously you have the fact that Gotham are now in, and they're playing a very, very strong Orlando team.
Orlando, right
Yeah,
there, Leggy.
yeah.
This girl. So we have to talk about this. Is the moment of the week. This has to be the moment of the week. This is the best player, arguably of all time, very easily, arguably of all time,
Yeah.
reminding us why. And sometimes I watch football and I can't explain things to people. I just can't. Like, you know, when when I was a kid and I was explaining Gareth Bale running down that
Yeah.
line against Bartra, and I was like, well, how does Bartra just not get there ahead of him? Because Gareth Bale's the fastest, like most amazing player. And then I don't know, Sam Kerr's moment in that World Cup, and I'm like, how does Sam Kerr get that space? But also she creates the space in the moment. And then I think to myself, Marta is 40. The girl is 40, and she goes out there and she runs faster than 23-year-old athletes. And like, I don't know what was in her. Like, I felt like it was like she just locked in. She locked in for that moment, and it was one of the best runs you will ever see. Won the penalty, and then the best moment of it actually is the celebration after winning the penalty, because it shows that even at 40, even after everything she's achieved, everything she's done in the sport, from all the way from AI, from Brazil, like back in the day, from what it means for her in the favelas of Brazil, playing street ball in Yoga Bonito, all the way through to now. Like, it's pride. It's not just Orlando, it's pride. She's playing for pride, and the way she ignited the crowd was just there's nothing, no other player in the world makes you feel like that.
It's so frustrating because, I mean, if you're an NWSL head, you know that Orlando have never been like this. This is a completely different level to what Orlando has been like in the last decade, right? But you just think in the last 2 seasons, we've had Marta magic moments. Last season against KC, the
Yeah.
semi-final,
Oh,
fantastic.
the run through
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah, it's
and then the
different breed.
cut, the completely taking two plays out is fantastic,
yeah.
right? This moment, right? I mean, unless you're a Seattle fan or a Chat GPT stockholder,
Yeah,
you're
Laura
loving this.
Harvey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're loving this because you're seeing a player who is just instinctively loves football. She said after the game, I would never take the ball to the corner flag. She's always going to go into the box. She was always going to drive. She was always going to make the opportunity. It's a football lover's dream to watch Marta. And we are witnessing Marta, the accessibility of watching Marta now, because like at the end of her career. But once she retires, her catalogue of football is going to go down as one of the most insane, one of the most consistent, and just She is, and I know a lot of attacking third, our friends over the Yank podcast say that she's the only star in Orlando. She's not. She might be one of the brightest stars in Orlando and has been for a while, but she's not. This is a collective effort. This is a fantastic team. Can they go all the way? I don't know. Gotham, as we said earlier, is a team.
Oh, it's gonna be my favorite game. It doesn't matter who the final is. These two are my favorite teams with my favorite players. Like this is everything I want it to be and more. And I'm so excited because that moment, by the way, was straight out of that's LA Soul Marta right there in my head. It's not Yumiya IK Marta was last year. Now we're getting LA Soul Marta. Next year will be Santos Marta. but ultimately, there's so much being said about Marta. There's no point just piling on the superlatives, but the reality is that you're just adding to a show reel that is already decked out with moments on moment. Even for me, Alexia's number one. That's just it. But you cannot deny the longevity, the ability, and then the heart. The actual dog in Marta is just. There's a reason why she's got that, the 10 on the back, the chest bump, the win. I actually thought, and then giving the penalty away was just, exactly. It's just that is everything. It is, again, football is more than just the sport. It's friendship, it's religion, it's spiritual expression. That run is a spiritual expression of everything pure about football. That idealism, we talk about idealism being the enemy of certain managers, and players don't really have that power anymore in specifically, in certain WSL, the top teams. You don't have the power to do what Marta's doing. Exactly. But when you transcend football the way you do, no one can criticize Marta for running the whole
She's the most likable player. You can't hate Marta. And my hot take is I think anyone on this side of the bracket, I think they're the ones that are going to win the NWSL. I don't think I can see Portland or Washington winning it, honestly. I know that Portland had probably the more convincing of performances.
Very convincing defensive performance as well.
I found
they do.
That their goal was inevitable. Yes, it came after the 90. We had 3 games go into overtime. That one came after the 90, but their midfield to me is so strong. Olivia Moultrie, Sam Coffey, Jessie Fleming. You're getting such quality
veterans, youth, all in between. It's gonna. I'm not looking forward to Spirit versus Portland. I feel like it's regressive. Yeah,
Spirit did not play well, in my opinion. No. I think that they were really underestimating this racing team because they thought, this is a team that has previously not been in a playoff, so their inexperience will catch them off. But the fight and determination by racing at the end of the game to get the last minute winner from 2 subs off the bench.
The equalizer, The
equalizer from 2 players coming off the bench. That just goes to show their quality. Obviously, by the end of the day, it didn't pan out because if I'm looking at penalties and I'm thinking NWSL, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to go and watch things that are going to push this sport back in the women's game 10 years. Yeah.
But the experience versus youth will always show in penalties. That's the big one. And I think
when Esme Morgan came up and took the penalty and then scored the best penalty, I was like, that makes sense.
It's done. Done. It was done from that penalty. 100%.
I think so. It was the best penalty. It's the most convincing penalty. It's a penalty from a player that won a Euro. This is a player that knows what she has to do.
It's the feeling. Games. You just knew at home as well. Yeah. The spirit.
Trinity Rodman going absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Our Michelle Kang celebrating with Esme Morgan. The feeling was in the stadium. They definitely had it, and I can't argue with that. Louisville will learn a lot from this. I actually think they'll get better next year, and they will be in a better position where they're not playing Spirit, the second best team, easily the second best team across the season. They're gonna come up against lesser opposition, so they can get further in the NWSL playoffs properly. But I just wanted to say one more thing about Marta. Can you win your own award? Can you win?
She went up for it last year.
Yeah, so she can win the Marta. Marta can
but
win the Marta.
What would she win it for?
Award.
She doesn't. She scored some baller goals.
No, if like if she ran all the way and then scored,
Oh yeah, she'd win the Martyr Award.
she'd
Though.
win.
I think,
She'd win her own award.
Ovaye's
Yeah,
up there.
Ovaye's got to win it. I think Ovaye is the one. It's the one to beat. Definitely, there's no
But if we
question
have
about that.
predictions real quick about the Orlando Gotham Washington Portland game, I am gonna say Orlando 2-1 against Gotham. I'm gonna say that.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
I think Washington just might do it against Portland. I think
1-0.
it'll be like something like a 1-0 again, like a 2-1. I'm thinking overtime, maybe.
I'm thinking 1-0. I want it to be 1-0 Portland because that is such a
Yeah,
1-0 Portland result.
I want Portland. And
Mackenzie Arnold, I need you right now.
I think it'd be
Please.
fantastic. So these last four teams are the last four winners of the NWSL. And to me,
Yes.
I think it'd be really fantastic if it were a Portland Orlando final because I think that they're the OGs, if we're talking about like OG NWSL, they're the ones. They weren't the best. I mean, or Portland were the best, but very much
Yeah,
so. But
by a
Orlando,
lot, yeah.
we're talking about like history. I kind of want that historic.
But I mean, Gotham v Washington is literally Batman versus the Joker. In my head, that's how I see it. But my question is will Rose Lavelle play
Yes.
in this
Full
game?
stop.
Yeah,
Full
will
stop,
play
yes.
properly.
She
Yeah.
will play properly, and I think she'll have impact. I really do. I think she
Because
loves
she
these
wasn't
games.
like she wasn't excessively like she didn't really have her mitts all over the current game in that way.
I think we're looking at a player that I think she's been slightly overrun right now. I think her
Naturally.
for club and for country, we're all so excited to have a fit Rose Lavelle that will just put her in and rush her in for minutes. I think the bigger question though is will Esther play?
Yeah,
I think
that is a good
I
point.
think that's massive. I think if we're looking
Is
striker
she
for
fully
striker,
she's not fully
I have
fit, is
absolutely
she?
no idea what her status is
Yeah.
playing wise. But if we're going striker for striker, I do think Esther is now inarguably the best striker left. So will she play? That's the big question. I think if she does,
If
it'll
she
make an
plays,
impact.
the feeling they will rock the Orlando
Yeah.
Stadium. But again, I I actually don't care who wins this game. I just want it to be good. I want it to be a goal fest. I want it to be Rose v Marta.
Yeah.
I want Esther and everyone involved to do the business. I think you know what? I'm going Gotham. I'm going
Yeah.
Gotham. I'm
Nice.
going 3-2 Gotham. I just want a goal fest. I'm manifesting greatness. But yeah, 1-0 Washington, I think, sadly. And I really hope they lose in the final because that would be
I want them to get
beautiful.
all the way to the final just for Kang to just pan to Kang
Pan to Kang
the
when they
Orlando
lose, yeah.
Gotham have scored and it's just,
Sunglasses on.
yeah.
That's all I need. But that is everything we've got for the NWSL watch as we move to the Benchwarmers Awards. So we are going to look at Never Bench Again. So my Never Bench Again was originally Rosa Kafaji because, I mean, why is she on the bench? Makes no sense. But I just thought it has to be Sveva. I understand that there is a pecking order in this Kang side. I get it. But who I thought was the ringleader of the Nice Wonga Ryan Ruther bench warmer party. She's a gun. She's a gun.
Yeah.
When she plays more than 7 minutes, she never gets below a 7.5. And her set pieces are also mint, which is a very underrated thing. And I understand you have Salma Basha, but I mean, Salma Basha's left foot. She can do both. And I think pound for pound, Ash Lawrence, Tarsian, Sveva, not as far away as people think. Personally,
enough.
that's how I see it. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
that's my Never Bench Again.
My Never Bench Again was originally Blomqvist.
Really?
But then I changed it to Macario, which I hate
Oh,
because I don't want to be
You put a
calling.
Chelsea play. Oh my God.
I did. I put in a
Scenes,
Chelsea player.
absolute
It's
scenes.
disgusting. It's even after this week, I put in a Chelsea player because
I totally agree, though. Totally
I
agree.
don't think that you can have a 9.6 rating in a Champions League game and have only started 4 games in the
cooked.
WSL. Like to
Straight
me,
cooked.
I mean,
Sonia's cooked.
she hasn't got the goal yet in the WSL. She got 2 assists. I can appreciate that. But what she's producing in the Champions League, the experience that she has, she's taken from everywhere she's been. She's taken bits of that game and has molded it into the player that she is today. A lot of people ruled her out because of the injury that she got and the persistent injuries that came
It was
afterwards.
a huge injury with like duration and also just
Years.
mentality as well. Like
Yeah.
it changes you when that kind of thing happens to you, and like you don't believe you're ever going to get back to the level you were. I think that's really, really harsh. But like, also, I mean, her time at Lyon is marred by the fact that ultimately, like, she wasn't in like, there was not a single time where Katarina Macario was the best player at
I
Lyon.
disagree. I
Really?
disagree.
Oh, you thought
Really.
she was?
There
Okay.
have been Champions League campaigns specifically in, I believe, 1920, if I'm right, where she's the one scoring the goals. She's the one scoring
Really?
the goal. Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like she was. I thought she was really good the year before she went to Chelsea, the 21-22.
Possibly, it's one
But
of the years
yeah,
with Lyon where she was at the end of everything, and it
I
showed in the
felt like she
Champions League.
was not. But like no, she was amazing. Like she was a good player. She was an amazing player. Like you don't move to Chelsea if you're not the marquee signing if you're not that good. But my point is, she was always number 3 or number 2 in my head. I feel like it was Ada or Marajan or whoever was there when like there were players eclipsing her personally.
Yeah, so it was a 21 campaign. She wasn't there before that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
21 campaign.
Yeah. No, she was an amazing player.
Yeah.
That's why she got the move. But I'm happy to say right now that Macario is Chelsea's best player. I actually think that. Like, obviously you can go beyond Bright. Their defense is amazing.
ABJ. Yeah.
But yeah, ABJ will get there. Will get
I
there.
think I would really prefer ABJ and Macario on at the same time.
Fair
Really.
enough. And you can play one behind the other. You can
Yep.
switch them, rotate them. The aggression, the energy, the youth, the hunger from both of them is amazing. But I have no issue saying she is the best Chelsea player right now. She's the most dangerous. She's definitely the best on form, like just when she plays. And she's the only one I feel like just has the capacity when the chips are down. She's the one who's going to do it. She's the one who's going to pull them out of the hole. She's the one who's going to pull them out of the rut. She's the technically gifted one, by the way. Like, it's not just pure speed. She has aspects to her game that others at Chelsea. I mean, again, she's kind of low key anti Sonia Ball in the sense
I
of
agree.
she's not a lightning. She's not a physical freak. Yeah, she has the ability to adapt and create in her own game. But yeah, no, I think that's a great shout for Never Bench Again. I kind of wish I made that shout. But my super sub this week is Blomqvist because of that winner. I mean, the winner against VFL, that's to get the Frankfurt season back on track, cemented to where they are, a form team, solidified second or third in the FRAUEN, and they should really, I mean, if Blomqvist can win that inaugural Europa Cup, no questions about cementing legacy. I think it's that cup is not being looked at enough as important. And when we get to the knockout stages, we are going to be like, oh crap, like this is crazy and this is what it means for them. But yeah, she's my super sub of the week. Who's yours?
Mine is Katie Stengel. Obviously, I think it's
Naturally
the biggest giant killer that we've had in a while in the NWSL. I think the other one was probably when SD Wave got kicked out in the 2023 season. So I think I think Katie Stengel is not necessarily the legend that we have when we're looking at other NWSL players, but she is a player that I can trust will come on and have an impact, and she has season wide.
Yeah, and you won't forget the name. That it's a game that will be remembered for the ages. That game, the amount of moments in that game, and for her to be a part of it in that cameo is magnificent. But who is your come on the pod?
Well, it was originally Winona Heatley, but it was originally her.
Yeah, fair.
But I realized that we'd already mentioned her before.
We have killed her. We have killed her on the pod.
And I love killing Tillies. It's one of my favorite hobbies. But
it's not for me. But
but no, I had to go with the refs in the Chelsea Arsenal game, and this is not even just as an Arsenal fan. I just think as a football fan, it just ruined the vibe of one of the best games that you're going to get in the calendar. Stop laughing.
It's just so funny. It's I need some chips. I need some chips for the salt that's happening right now.
Do better. You're coming on the pod.
Do better.
I want all of them. I want the fourth official. I want the linesman. I want the ref on the day. I want them all to come on the pod.
Do better. Yeah, you do better. You win a game. You know
who's
what?
Your
My come on the pod is now Stina for missing all his chances in the Chelsea Arsenal game. Do better. Nah. My come on the pod is El Chiringuito.
Who's this courtesy of, by the way? Who sent this to you?
What? You did.
Yep.
But this is a deserved come on the pod because this is a pod. But for what is El Chiringuito, you ask any of the listeners out there? So this is a YouTube channel. with the following tag, by the way. They call themselves the best debates and analysis around Spain's top soccer league, La Liga, and interviews with soccer's most prominent figures, right? So, I mean, firstly, they're wrong because we're the best
Yeah.
debates and analysis in the Spanish top soccer league. I mean, who's talking about Alhammerings like we are? But who did they have on this week to talk to? So you'd think that if they have the best and most prominent figures in Spanish soccer, is it Aitana? Is it Lexi? Do they just bring Geraldez over? Because, I mean, he's Spanish and he's amazing. Is it Vicky after the 100? Nope. They brought on Luis Rubiales, man. They brought on the former president of the Spanish Football Federation, more commonly known as the person who assaulted Jenny Hermoso after winning the 2023 World Cup with a non-consensual kiss that I was in the stadium for about 20 meters away from. It was insane. And I mean, he was fined and he was ordered to pay compensation. There was a restraining order and everything. But he's gone on El Chiringuito to break the silence. What silence? What
He broke that silence when he did that stupid "I'm not resigning" speech.
Yeah, exactly.
That made
I'm
him
not
out to look
resigning.
like a fool.
Oh my God, the things he said on this part, I'm not repeating them because they don't need any clout. They don't need anything. But I mean, they just need that. Maybe they do need to come on the pod and we can just roast them to crap for validating and platforming the existence of this disgusting human. I mean, this is where sports administration goes to die with people like Rubiales who have their mitts all over the wrong places. But
Well, you're seeing it now. I mean, like just the rise of talking to the cancelled figure, like breaking their silence. Like we've taken this idea of cancellation to be something like totally abstract. But in all honesty, this was the biggest sexual harassment assault case that we'd had in Spain for a prominent figure. And it galvanized a society around recognizing the fact that this exists, it shouldn't exist, and to now kind of go to this like post woke era in Spain, if you want to call it that, in the world, where we're now having to justify and give content to a man that has been like rightly so completely abolished from the books of the RFEF. It's just shocking.
Yeah, it's disgusting, and ultimately this is what happens. This is where any publicity is good publicity, and disgusting human beings get to be disgusting human beings and then validate their feelings about and justify their feelings on platforms where they are given spaces because people are going to hear what they have to say. But I mean, when Leggy sent me this, I was visibly, genuinely shocked. I was like, holy crap. Like this actually, there is a market for this content. Are we serious? But yeah, Elcher and Guito, do better. Come on the pod and we'll tell you all the reasons why you're rubbish and you should not validate tyrant, disgusting sports administrators or anything in the sport to that level, as we finish up our Benchwarmers Awards and move to a different tyrant of women's sport as we go on to our final, our favorite tyrant. Actually, low key, it is a love hate relationship.
But it's like I've got Stockholm syndrome.
It's like, I mean, it's the same parts of the brain, honestly, that are activating. But if you didn't know, it is What Would Kang Do, number 11. I can't believe we got to 11. This is crazy. 11, the starting 11. That's what I should have done. I should have done Kang starting 11. I made a mistake. But we're going back to the old school ways, the countries. Yeah, we've done the song last week, so we're doing a full-on takeover this week, and I'm going to give Leggy some time to improvise as well. Cool. But the country we choose this week is Argentina, a ridiculously beautiful football country with beautiful football history, romance, love, beauty, small football players, short people. But there is a cloud around the women's team as they have never sat higher than rank 27 in the Woso FIFA rankings. And were
you there at the Australia-Argentina game earlier this season?
I mean, yes, we battered them, and we also, by the way, we have the best record of any team against Argentina because we are 4 games, 4 wins. Yeah, we should just play them every week. Every week. But yes, they 27th in the world, and other than a 2006 dream Copa America Femenina run, where they went invincible to win it, there has just been shadows of their men's side, and they were never able to galvanize the nation behind a Marta, not a Brazilian Marta, but like an actual martyr for their game.
They have their best player having a Cristiano Ronaldo tattoo.
Yeah, I mean that's just wrong. That just proves where we need a Kang to fix this. So we need a Marta Donna or a young Messi. But my question is to you, what would Kang do to save Argentina?
Well, I mean, I think like what I love about Argentinian footballers is there's always this mystique about them, like the little boy from Rosario and all that kind of stuff. We have Maradona effect, what he's done to clubs like Napoli and how he's completely created this kind of ethos and religion around his presence. And I think Messi's done the same. Basically, I think Kang is going to have to like go to one of these little small towns, pick up one of these little small children, chuck her in one of her massive, huge Kang's villas, if you like to call it that, put her there, and you make the martyr. You manufacture the martyr.
See, this is why we have a podcast together, because our brains are stupid and we think the exact same way. So I've created basically a 4-step process to solve Argentina's like gradient issue. So I'm coining the gradient term as any team where their men's side respective to their women's side is too big. And it's arguably the worst in the world. I would say there's only a few teams. So Real Madrid, Liverpool, I'd say they're pretty bad in that gradient. But in my head, Argentina's men's and women's side is a crazy drop off. But step one to solve the issue.
The women USA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Reverse gradient. Good shout. I actually, you know what? Well, actually, I think their men's team's gotten a little bit better. So the gradient's not as bad. Like they're in the top 20. That's why, because whereas like rank one or rank 2 and 30 is different to 15 and 2, right? But step one to save Argentina, monopolize the lead clubs, right? So Kang, obviously, she needs more than one club to make money, to be able to rationalize her investment in a country, right? So we need a Kanglican Argentinian Trinidad, yeah, as they call a Trinimum, actually, not a Trinidad, a Trinimum, because she's going to be the mum of Argentina, right? So the 3 clubs, right? So who are the big 3? Obviously, we've got River Plate, we've got Boca Juniors, and then we'll come to the third one later because it's kind of the Holy Ghost. But the Bokang Juniors, obviously, easy rename, an academy club because they're juniors, right? For the kids in the villas to ensure that they can build that Kangentinian child army, which is easy. And then their stadium, right? La Bombonera, also known as the chocolate box for its aesthetics. Good thing she also owns Kangbury Favorites. So she can just turn the chocolate box into whatever she wants. A royal purple makeover to ensure that the juniors are just on fire. Build the child army of Argentinians in like an academy platform. Then team 2 is Club Atletico River Plate. Yeah, the carp team, the fishers. Hire a Club Atletico dishwasher for the plates so that we can effectively sport wash the crap out of this Woso Super Classico. So ultimately the sport wash creates this beautiful game where we have the youngsters of the Bokang and then the Kang-pilled River Plate that is ultimately just going to build this immense, like, I mean, when I think of a Kang-pilled team, I think of an immense back half, ridiculous talent that doesn't connect at all to their back half, and then a midfield that is just robust and divine. But if it's Argentinian, it'll hold up. And their stadium, La Monumental, so that will be the La Monumentalion, yeah? So obviously it's called the Grand Stadium. It's also going to be the Big Lion. So we have the Big Lion around the world, and we'll have different Lion stadiums as we've talked about before. But River Plate, Bokang Juniors, and then the last one is the fact that Kang's already there. Kang already has a team because there's a team there called Club Atletico Independiente. Yeah, she doesn't need to rebrand them. They are the independent club. Their whole brand is already Kanging about, and they don't have to change anything. So they've got Independiente, they've got River Plate, and they've got Bokang Juniors. So they've monopolized the leading local clubs. Now, you have to step 2. monopolize the leading competitions, right? So CONMEBOL is no more. It is CANMEBOL. Copa American, South American Gold Cup, CONCACAF Cup, CONCACAF Cup, and then the Finalissima gets changed to Finally I Make Us Some Money. I think that's the only natural way that she takes the competitions, makes them hers, and then that means she's at all the games. She can use her private jet, fly down for the big games, give all the awards, and then show that Argentinian football's on the map, because where she goes, that's where the eyes go, right? Being Kang Pilled is about her proximity to the football. Then step 3, tether the currency to the Woso performance. So as we all know, the Argentinian peso, relatively low, relatively weak currency, but we are going to change that by on the map tethering, kind of like a gradient, yeah. Woso to peso. So we're going to have Kangso, Wilso, Helpso, Woso, peso, Tuso up all the financial debts made so by Argentina. So in the last 60 years, we can fix what they've done. So
isn't the Argentinian currency like they're trying to make a crypto?
yes, they did. Exactly right. And every win for Argentina as a national side, every eye that Kang puts on it, increases the peso for Woso. That's all that matters for them. We need to build again. Kang football, it's Kangonomics, economic development. And then the last step, the hardest step, obviously, is Kangifying the prime national players, right? So we have to look at what we have already, and then what we're going to look for in the future. So what we have already, the top goal scorer of all time, still playing, Bonsegundo, 32-year-old playing in Florencia, who scored 22 goals for Argentina. Get her in LCL right now. You're 32 years old, prime LCL age.
She's a prime LCL age.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Lower the average age of the team by joining at 32 and put Woso Argentina on the map straight away. Top goal scorer in Argentina in LCL. Then we have Aldana Cometi. So she's just topped the all-time caps. Well, actually, she hasn't just topped. She just got 100 caps for Argentina. She's the first player to get to 100 caps, and she's only 29 years old. She plays in the League One, ARKEMA, but if she changed her name from Aldana Cometi to Aidana Conmati, I feel like we'd know her more.
No, I feel like Kang would know her more.
Yeah, well, Kang would buy her because her name is Aidana Conmati, and her PR might skyrocket. She has played for Madrid CFF before in the past, so she's not that far from the top flight move.
Another independent women's club, by the way.
Yeah, I mean exactly right. Like a Kang-pilled side on the fringes, pseudo Kang ideology at least. But the move is there. 29 years old, 100 caps for Argentina. We need Conmati playing Conmati ball in a prime team. I'm thinking you can go to Spirit, but also like, nah, let's shoot for the stars. Like if we're going to imagine actually Lyon v Barca, Conmati versus Bonmati, that's the dream. But again, Kang is all about the future. It's not about now. We're building now, but it's for the future. So the last thing is to look in the Argentinian academies for the talent, but also the names that Argentina will get behind. So it's the future. We have to change the names of these people. They're unnamed at this point, these youngsters, right? It's the young Messis. We're going to find the young Messi. We're going to find the Wo Maradona, yeah? Or as we call her, the Soccer Donna, right? We're going to look, we had Angel Di Maria. We are now going to have a Maria de Angel. Amelia Martinez, Nicola Otamendi, her Nan Crespo, and Juanita Sebastian Veron. Like there are player names that are there for the taking. We need to build the future of women's Argentinian football, and that's basically the starting 11 right there. But I mean, ultimately, we have to finish. I mean, you mentioned it before. I'm glad you talked about it. The little boy from Rosario, but we have to change it. The future is using Peter Drury for what she can do. Peter Drury will be Kang-pilled eventually.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. and it sounds like this. I wish I could do his accent, but I need to find a generator to do it for me. But the little girl from Seoul wanted to find strong football soul and went to find the future little girl from Rosario. On behalf of every little girl buying their shirts, young Messi on 1,000,000 backs, Wa Maradona for 1,000,000 flashbulbs, from 1984 to 2022 to 2025, the future of Argentina is Kangfield. And it's not just for 1,000,000 backs, it's for $1,000,000. And that, my friends, my bench warmers, is what Kang would do to Argentina.
You missed such a good one. You could have done Higuain instead of Higuain.
Well, I mean, you helped me. You finished off my 11. So what do I have there? 2, 4, 6, 8, and then plus the 2 at the top, Cometti and Bonsegundo. We get our 11th is Higuain. How did I miss that as well? That's bad for me. But I mean, appreciate that. Lovely. That is What Would Kang Do done, and that is the podcast done. And I know we have gone way over time, but we will. I mean, you're just going to cop a 3-hour episode. That's just what it is. But game's the game.
Who else would you want to be spending 3 hours with? Talking about football?
For all your drives throughout the week, just remember, like, we are here for you. We are on Instagram. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. Our YouTube is doing now full audio and video podcasts combined. So if you want to see our beautiful faces and our beautiful kits and our beautiful memes, like this is the place to go on YouTube. But we all know you're actually here for the TikTok. And I mean, the Spotify is great, but you're all here for our rage bait. Well, not really rage bait. We don't rage bait at all.
No, we don't do it enough. We have to do it more.
We should do it more, but we're kind of just set in our ways, and we just believe how we believe and don't really like change our way for the bait. I feel like we're pretty honest, and that's why we love chatting football and always will, and we'll do it every week. Every week. Yeah. Thank you guys. Rate us 5 stars, and we will catch you on the next one.
Yes.